Fly Navarro, and I got my main man, Brennan, on here. Brennan, could you please introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, man. I'm Brennon Moore, from Pensacola, Florida originally. I live right here in Beulah, Florida, a little north of that. I'm 41 years old. I currently captain the Fat Chick, which is a 66 Viking out of Orange Beach Marina. Right now, we are currently sitting, I'm not in Key West, thank God. I'm actually sitting in my house where our boat's in Key West. So got a little downtime and it's hunting season, and I'm here with you, brother.
All right, well, let's continue our conversation we were just having, which is a hot topic through the North Atlantic, and then we'll progress to all the other stuff. We were talking about sharks.
Oh, yeah.
So I literally made you stop because I'm like, man, this is the kind of stuff we need to talk about online. So
Right.
anyway, continue if you remember. If not, we'll
Yeah.
start from the top.
Yeah, well, we were talking about sharks and just, obviously the abundance of them now and what I can remember. I'm 41. Grew up charter fishing, started charter fishing when I was literally like 14 years old. I had my first job as like a second mate on a charter boat. And I remember charter fishing in those days, and back then, obviously, we didn't have the snappers that we have now because of obviously federal regulations. And we have an abundance of snappers here. But a lot of our fishing that we were doing was anywhere from 80 to probably 150. Sometimes you get out in the deep water in the 200 foot, but we were fishing every day, snapper fishing, jack fishing, grouper fishing, a lot of scamps in those days, in the 120s to 140s. And of course, you try and catch them in that depth over here now, and you get chewed up in the snappers. But one of the things we really didn't worry about in those days was, and we didn't deal with, was sharks. And now, from the last, 4 or 5 years of having to bottom fish here and there, and when I say having to bottom fish, I love to fish. I think as you can figure out, but like if I don't have to go bottom fishing, I'm okay with that now. But because I like to bill fish, and I think all of us do. But one of the things now that I'm noticing is like pull up there to scamp fish, and now we're dumping off. I'm down there in like my 240s to my 290s scamp fishing, and it's like get one or two, and here come the bull sharks. And I mean, they're bad. And pretty much it's to the point to where like it's almost like you'll have resident bull sharks on these places. And to the point of it in the last few years, like talking to other captains, talking to guys, they're like, oh man, I got a good rock down here that's like in the 290s to the 310s. It's got some broomtails, talking about scamps, but man, the bull sharks have just moved in there, and all I'm coming up with is the head. And it's like, what, you don't even want to drop down there and catch these fish because you don't want to waste them. If all you're going to bring up's a head, then why do you even want to fight with them? And
It's not even worth fishing for them.
right, it's not. And you hate to tell customers that. And man, it's like take places like the Patronus. We have a rig here that's called the Patronus. I'm sure you know where that's at. For the folks that don't, when I was in my teen years, especially like 16, 17, 18 years old, I was working on some boats, charter fishing or on a boat, and we did a ton of overnighters, like 18, 24 hours, 36s. But for our 18s and our 24s in those days, yellowfin fishing, we used to go to the Patronus and you would tie off to the can. There was like a buoy there, a can buoy. Um, and we would tie off to it literally like we'd bottom fish our way out. And this is before the days of deep dropping. So we're just legitimate bottom fishing without electric reels, and we're pulling up there to the can, we're tying off, and we'd start chunking. Most of the time my cat would stay up till 10 o'clock at night. He'd go get some sleep. Me and the other mate would just start chunking, and we catch our yellowfins, and of course, the whole time we're doing that, you got customers that are diamond jigging all around you, and you're scared of your life because diamond jigs are flying at you left and right. And it's just pretty much like a black cloud of death tied off to this thing, like I mean, the back deck of the boat looks like a horror movie happened. There's dead black fins, and we're chunking, and it wasn't a lot of big yellow fins in those days at that particular place. I mean, we caught some good ones. Our average fish was like 90 to 110 in those days, but you could catch a good grade of charter yellowfins. And we weren't bothered by the sharks. Every now and then in the fall when the water would cool off, we'd have some sharks show up, and there might be 7 or 8 sharks, and you could chunk hard enough that like your yellowfins would show up in them. You go there and try that now, bro, you won't have a hook. Like you'll have to go home. You'll be out of hooks. I don't care how many you take because it's just just like Sharknado at that place. Like, bro, I'm serious. Like, go there any time of the year. Okay, because blue marlins live there. There are some that's one of my favorite places in the Gulf of Mexico to blue marlin fish. Um, just anywhere right there. It's by the ledge. Like it's just gonna it just for whatever reason. I don't know if there's a billfish factory under the water there, but they live there. But you can go there now on your way out, because it's kind of a first stop for us on a lot of our tournaments. And I can be literally like at least a mile off of that rig and be marking plumes of bait and pull up there and troll through like trying to load the tubes up day one. And we're a mile off the rig and it's just Sharknado. I mean, turn your sonar on. If for the guys that haven't been there, which I'm sure pretty much everybody has, but for the guys that haven't been there and you really want to know what lives there, like pull up there and turn on an Omni and watch what happens. You're like, my God, if you fall in the water, you're dead.
You can see
And
them from everywhere.
oh my God, even the bottom machine, like if you know what you're looking like or looking at on a down scan, you pull up there and you see the bait and you're like, oh, is that billfish under that bait? No, that is sharks. And they like a mile, 2 miles, like that whole area is just, and I don't know what it is. Like if you do for some reason, if you are able to get the guys over here to commercial fish sharks, like bro, if they want a good spot to start, that's it. Just tell them to bring plenty of ice and plenty of knives because they're gonna need it.
Wow, that's crazy. I know I was talking to Chase last week, and we were talking about how they've gotten smart enough. They don't even swim down to go get it. They just sit underneath the boat about 20 to 50 feet, and they just wait for you to reel it up to them.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean they really do, and now like we've got like one of the things that we've started doing, and I don't mind even saying this, like I'll talk today about the stuff that I do,
Don't
man. It
listen.
ain't
Don't
really
don't you get yourself arrested, man.
no, no,
Don't-
no, no. I'm
because
just
that
saying,
kid got that
like
kid got arrested a couple of weeks
no,
ago.
bro,
Where
I'm not bro, bro,
okay,
choir boy right here, man. I'm not
uh,
breaking no laws.
okay,
But one of the things that we've started to do in catching bait is like, used to what Chase is talking about. Pretty much when you're taking that boat in and out of gear. I still got you.
yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hang on a second. We good for some there we go.
No, you're good.
One of the things that we've been doing catching bait is like, Chase is talking about this when he's saying, hey, these fish are staging at the back of the boat, these sharks, like when you take that boat in and out of gear, you're just calling up barracudas and sharks. Like you're ringing the doorbell. And the method that we're using catching most of our baits, our tunas or bonitas, to fill these tubes with the blue marlin fish, you're coming out of gear. We've always come out of gear and we tried the old like come out of gear, go too hard reverse, like taking waves over the back, trying to get these baits in. And you're not doing anything but burning fuel and tearing up motor mounts down there. So what we've started to do actually is now we're not taking the boat out of gear. We've had to step up, which just makes it tough in the summer because your bait gets harder to catch. But we've actually stepped up the monofilament we're using on the bait rigs, and we found some hooks they're very small hooks to put in these bait rigs, but they're super tough. Like you can't bend them; they'll break before they bend. And so basically, we're just leaving the boat in gear. And sometimes I'll kind of slightly put us in a turn, and we've been able to get more baits that way, but we're still getting shark pretty hard. And
Ugh.
it's just like all the shark in those areas up there by what I call the shelf, right there where your transition of 400 foot of water down to 1,500, 2,000, whatever it is, for whatever reason, and I'm not a biologist, but that's Sharknado out there. There's it's just you don't
Man,
want to go over the bro. If you go over the side there, if you're having to float around out there and you're on a life raft, the best thing you can do is just take your pocket knife out and cut it and sink to your death, bro. Because you're gonna get ate. Like
well,
that's all there is.
if it makes you feel any better, it's not just there. It's the entire North
It, it's
Atlantic.
it's
It's
bad.
it's the entire North Atlantic. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing though. Um, on the bright side of it, the silver lining is they've done a good job at managing them. So the
Mhm.
Sharks were able to come back. And I've been interviewed quite a bit about it, and everyone's like, "Oh, do you blame it on overfishing?" And I'm like, "No, man, this is just the opposite. You
Yeah,
see this many sharks because there's so much of an abundance of bait, and
right.
and when I say bait, I don't mean just tunas and bonitas. I'm talking about snappers and kingfish and groupers. The sharks eat everything. So the
Yeah.
bait for sharks is everything, and we have an abundance of fish for them to eat. So there's an abundance of sharks. Just like when I don't know if I'm assuming being from the Redneck Riviera, you deer hunt.
Bro, I just got back literally last night. The only reason I'm not there today is because we're doing
For
this.
this, well,
Yeah.
when you see an abundance of acorn droppings,
Yeah.
usually the following years you see an abundance of whitetail because there's so much
Absolutely.
food. That's the way Mother Nature
Absolutely.
works. So the
That's
fact that
right.
we're seeing this many sharks is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's my argument has been is it's just a mismanagement of the resource. So anyway, it's just something we're working on, and
No, they don't have an apex predator. They pretty much are the apex predator.
we
And
we
we
we,
could
we
we could be the apex predator, but nobody wants to go catch a shark, bro. At this point, not guys that I work for or that I go out there like what happens when you hook a big one and you've been out there, especially in a tournament, and you're fighting this thing, fish hadn't jumped, and the whole time in your mind, you're like,
is it a
please, Lord
shark?
Jesus, don't let this be a shark. I mean, just this year, dude, just this year, literally, and we actually killed a blue marlin. We killed a 629 on this day, like 2 hours before this. Okay. And this is a lot of my fault, but like literally last day of the tournament, Cajun Canyons, I'm I have hit the panic button as hard as you wanted to hit it at 9 a.m. and I'm running like rig to rig to rig, and I'm in Green Canyon, and I went to the Shinzy, which like that's it for me, bro. When all panic hits, go to Shinzy. Something good will normally happen, and we run there, and I'm sonar and there's just nothing. Like it's just like dead zone. And I actually have a buddy that works on that rig who I had been talking to throughout the day. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to give him trouble for using his phone at work, but
Do not get
like
anybody in
no,
trouble.
I'm talking to him throughout the day. Like he's literally told me, like, hey, Chase, it's funny. He's like, hey, Chase just left, and like I know who's where out there. They have no like I'll text him through the day, be like, catch anything at the Shinzy, bro. And he's like, how's the student know I'm here? Because his AIS is off. But he calls me. He's like, hey, man, nobody's here. Chase was here 2 hours ago. I didn't see him do nothing, but no one's here. And I'm like, that's it. Let's go. Like, pour the cold tour, run over there. As soon as I get there, man, I'm sonaring, and there's like a workboat held up like a mile off of there. And workboats are like that's a free shade tree to me for blue marlins. Like they live there. So I go over there and I'm looking and there's just nothing there. And I turn around like face backwards. I'm 5'6", so bro, this is bad, but I have to get up on my knees on the helm chair to hit my teaser reels. So I'm like up on my knees, I'm hitting the teaser reels, and then I'm trying to turn around, look behind me. I'm not running into a workboat or somebody, and I'm bringing the reels in. Teasers come up. I turn around, and as soon as I turn around and look down the screen, like boomerang, it is literally like it's coming through. I'm on like a 14 tilt. So like when this thing comes through, bro, it's like right here. I'm like literally knock it out of gear. I'm like, send it, send the bait now. Like insta bite, send the bait, freaking like 130 just pouring off. I'm like, oh yeah, bro, finally something works out for me because it had been rough up to this point. And dude, like we're insta on. Fish takes off, running under the surface, and I'm like, and the mark on the sonar, like I've been able to get to the point to where not every time, but like when it's a good one, I can pretty much tell you that, like, hey, this is the one we're after. So like when I saw this mark, I just told the boys, it's like, hey, go and get the steel out. We're finna check this one's temperature when she comes up here. This is the one. So we're boiling it in reverse, taking them over the transom. Fish is staying on top and then going down and doing all this, bro. And it's overcast, so you can't see in the water. Like we see like one of my mates is like, it's big, dude. It's freaking, I seen the shadow. It's giant. And I'm like, all right, here it is. We get it up there after like an hour and 45. And mind you, this is the last day. Like panic button's been hit. We have very little time and we have nothing in the box to weigh, like nothing. Like there's no, at this point, if I just get us home, like this is a win. And so back up there, it's freaking giant hammerhead. And it is just
Oh,
like, and then we got to cut the leader, and you're just sitting up there the whole time. Like, of course, your mates and everybody else is looking at you like,
come
bro,
on.
what was
C-
that?
Come on, Cap.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like, it's my fault. You know what I'm saying? Which I'll take responsibility.
You're looking
Um,
at the screen. You told us to throw the
yeah,
bait
exactly. You're
out.
like, bro, I thought this was the one. It's just like, and I guess it could have been, but so many times now, especially in the live bait game. I mean, for instance, like, and I haven't seen a ton of these guys show up. I'm talking about the Makos,
Yeah.
I don't know that there's any more Makos than what there used to be. I have seen a good bit, and I think that's from sonar fishing. They mark and travel a lot like blue marlins on a sonar, but I worked a fish. This has been, I believe, the last trip possibly that we made, which was right there in October. I worked a fish at the Gulf Star, and she had been staying off a certain corner of the upcurrent side of the rig, and like this was a big mark, and she moved fast, very sporadic. It was hard to keep up with her. She really wouldn't let me get out in front of her. She was staying down that 190s to 160s, and I was like, hey, this is her, and finally we had drop baits on her, live baits, going over there, sending them, getting out, set up. We tried everything, I'm a big skip bait guy. I fish a lot of skip baits. I skip a lot of Spanish. I'll skip king mackerels if I can get my hands on them. I don't really like skipping tunas because they don't give me the skip that I like. I like rainbow runners, but this particular time we had some big Spanish and like what we call an axe handle Spanish. They're big enough to be an axe handle. They look like it. And we had two skip baits, and I'm like, man, look, I'm just gonna run her over at like 7 knots and see if we can get a reaction. And I fish now from an enclosed bridge. I run my sonar from inside the bridge, and basically what I've got to do is run out the back door as soon as they tell, like I'm telling them on the sonar, like, all right, once she goes through the sonar, I see her on the down scan. I'm either telling them to send it, or I'm, telling them like, hey, watch your dredge. You should be looking at her right now. And I come over and I just tell them like, hey, you be ready. You should be looking at her. We just ran her over on the down scan again, and 7 knots. And dude, all of a sudden I just heard like yelling in inside the headset, because I'm facing forward and I just hear this like, like all hell's broke loose. And when I look out the back window of my enclosed bridge, bro, it looked like you dropped your truck in the water. Just the most gigantic hole. And I'm like, this is her. We got her ass now. And my one mate the other mate runs over there like Josh. Josh runs over there and like throws the pitch bait. And the other mate had not had his headset turned down. So when he finally gets it turned down, he's like, guys, I've been trying to tell y'all, giant Mako, like giant, like,
Oh,
800. I'm like, so definitely lost to Spanish. I mean, it'd been cool to catch. We can't kill them anymore. If we could kill them, I'd roast that thing. But insta cut off, done. So there's definitely an abundance of sharks.
I,
Are we seeing more because we're sonar fishing? I don't know.
listen, it's both East Coast, West Coast. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
talking about Makos, there's one time back in the day fishing the BBC. The BBC offered up $1 million if you broke the Bahamas record. Bahamas
Right.
record was, I think, 1089, something like that.
Yeah.
Jason Parker broke it a few years ago, but that $1 million was no longer in effect.
Yeah.
And we used to pull this big old giant Gunga teaser on a flat line. We just send it out to the center rigger and reel it back all day long. And
Right.
next thing you know, this thing
So
rolled.
pretty much like y'all were prospecting with it, like back and
Correct.
forth.
Correct. We were
Somebody's got a wore out arm, bro. That's all I can tell
electric
you.
reel, bro.
Okay.
We had a
Okay.
Maya Epoch. We had a
I don't
Maya
want that. I
Epoch.
don't want that job if it comes available, bro. Just to let you
It
know.
was, man, it wasn't so bad, except on them days that were rough, because you're
Right.
out in the
Right.
corner, you're just getting fucking splashed all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just inside of bridge teaser distance, and it rolled. And it was whoosh, and all you saw was a tail, about a
Yeah.
6 foot tail. This thing was fucking massive.
The
And
one.
and it's just screaming out line. We got 300-pound tests on it. And now, mind you, this was back in 2000, so there was none of the technology we have nowadays.
Understood.
And We were this close to having steam engines. That's how far back it was.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Y'all had
and,
paddles. Y'all had paddles in case they
well,
went out there, right?
oh, absolutely. Well, listen, I'm
Yeah.
cute. That's why they kept me on. I was Cuban. I'm guaranteed to float 90
Oh,
miles.
dude.
And next thing you know, they're like, stop it, stop it. We're trying to put there's three of us trying to put our hands in the reels. I finally took off my shirt and jammed it in there. And we
Oh.
we ripped it out. And we're freaking out. Big pitches in the
Oh, so
water.
you're still on the teaser, bro.
Oh no, this was still on the fucking teaser.
Oh,
We couldn't
dude.
get the
Bad
teaser out
deal.
of its mouth.
Bad
And
day.
thinking that it's a blue marlin, we're
Yeah.
thinking it
Yeah.
pitched it on its side and swimming away.
Yeah.
So we finally ripped it out of its mouth. And my boss is sitting there with a big pitch in his hand, and we're waiting, nothing. We teased this thing in, we're working it back and forth, nothing. And it was about, I don't know, 4 minutes later, 5 minutes later, Cap goes, "Hey man, bring that thing in and look at the head." And we lifted it up, and you can see, because it was one of those soft, back in the day when they made soft lures, the
Right.
teeth marks were all the way in. You can see probably like 12 teeth marks, Mako teeth marks in there.
Mako.
Half the skirt was missing, just flopping. And he
Mako.
goes, "That's what I thought."
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
Man,
it broke my heart. I saw $1 million swim away.
dude, and let me tell you, so talking about sharks and this and that. Now, this was years ago. My oldest daughter now should be 18 in May, and she had just been born. So that'll tell you how long ago this was. I was fishing on a boat. It was a GNS, it's 55 GNS. I was still a mate. I think this was actually my last year as a mate. I was fishing with Captain Bo Keogh when he ran the Sophie Louise. And there's this particular day, bro, you gotta remember, man, like I came from charter fishing, dude. Like I'm from really Canton, Florida, and like we don't go out there and catch bluefins and stuff like this. So I'd never seen a bluefin. And we're fishing along. We went to the Independence Hub, and we go to the Independence Hub. I just remember riding like all night, and it was rough, bro. God, it was rough. It was like 6 footers on the nose. And I don't know if you ever been on one of those boats. Like, bro, they're badass boats, but that thing rides like a steel wheel tractor down a mountain. Like it's just a straight ass speeding like the entire time that you're out there. And so we finally get there. We're fishing, and these days we're lure fishing. Mainly we did some live baiting, but it definitely, no sonar. It wasn't to what we're doing now. Bo's a great fisherman. Bo had seen fish. He had been, I want to say he'd been to like Nova Scotia or something in like commercial fish bluefins. So I had never seen one in my life. And I'll never forget this. Like it's good in daylight. Like it's probably 45 minutes, an hour after daylight. We got lures out and big follow and see. It's like 6 footers. They're spread out a little bit more this time of the morning. And we're fishing, we're coming down a wave, and like we're just following sea, coming down a wave, and I got my flats, my shorts. I used to run a 7 spread, of plugs back in those days, because obviously more hooks, more fish, right? but
I'm glad you said it, not me, because I was
but
like, seven. Oh my God.
so we're coming down the wave, and man, like I got my back turned. I'm actually bridling another pitch bait, or rigging another fish bait in Spanish. So my back's turned to the spread at the time, and I'm the only one back there. It had been so rough. Everybody was kind of passed out inside. My other mate, he had gone in to get something real quick, and man, all of a sudden I heard a flat line. Flat line's just like, like just a short, and I turn around, there's a giant hole in the water, like just. I'm like, you're like throwing stuff, yelling. Bo's like, "Do you see it? Did you see it?" I'm like, "No, I didn't see it." And like all of a sudden, left short, like this giant dark shadow shows up underneath, and I'm like there she is, left, and I'm like trying to tease her up, like reach up there, like 130 or 80, like bust it down out of the clip, I got it, like trying to fire her up, and it just fades off. And so I'm like, watching longs, like whatever we got to do, like this fish should be here and the fish is not there. We make like a half a turn around this rig, so it's like down there, probably 3/4 of a mile, big loop. And I guess Bo was facing forward, which is fine. And because hell, sometimes we're not looking, for whatever reason, Bo was facing forward, so he didn't see the bite. And I'm looking at the shores, like I'm still like, this fish is here somewhere. and all of a sudden this fish eats, and I'll never forget this a day of my life. I had gotten left short, back up, in the rigger, and this fish eats, and when she eats, it's bluefin. She skies, and she goes from like left rigger and eats right. I'll never forget it. Snoop Dogg. I used to fish, which is white over blue moldcraft, bro. It's the best. If you don't that and a blue and white Islander, bro. If you're lost at sea and you just want to eat, like I'm pretty sure you can dangle that thing over the side and the
Pretty
billfish will.
much.
Yeah, and this fish eats like left rigger to right, just boom, like. And remember, I've never seen a bluefin in my life. Like I've just been yellowfin fishing, caught some good ones, some yellowfins, never seen a bluefin. And this fish is just pouring it off, bro. I mean, like just like violently stripping an 80 to the point to where, as a mate, and in those days we're fishing like 28 on the bite, on the button. And so I'm like backing up from this thing, like this reel is about to freaking explode. And Bo's like, what was it? We get the dude in the chair settled down. Bo's like, what was it? I'm like, the biggest yellowfin you've ever seen in your life. He's like how big? I'm like, 300? I don't know. Like this thing's giant. He was like, come on, Pee Wee, like 300. I'm like, bro, I'm just telling you, I've never seen nothing like this. And 13 hours and 45 minutes later,
God.
the dude that was in the chair went 9 hours. Richie Prince, he's from Fairhope, Alabama. He went 9.5 hours. He had a glove on. I'll never forget this. He had a white glove. We had her on Tiagra. We had her on Tiagra 80, and we kept pushing the drag up. And had a Tiagra 80, and the white glove, like from here to here, was just solid blood. He had just
Really?
ate through his hand, and the real like the gray, the gray Tiagra handle at the end of the day did look like you had just sat there with sandpaper all day, just like wore it down. And 9.5 hours into this thing, bro, dude put his hands up and he's like, I'm just done, bro. Can't do it anymore. And I understand, like, I'll never dog that dude out for it. I've seen the hell this dude went through. And bro, we'd been at full drag for like freaking hours. I don't know, 3, 4 hours, and like could do nothing with her. And one
Was
time,
this an 80 or 130?
this is an 80, which is
Okay.
why I fish all 130s now. But like, bro, I got this thing on the wire one time. And look, I'm not a big dude, bro. I'm like 5'6", and in those
Yeah,
days,
but those are the best wire guys,
I
man.
probably weighed 140 pounds, but I promise you, if you'd have tied a piece of 400 to a freight train coming by, I'd have tried to stop it. And I reached out and grabbed. We fished, 29 foot of 400 in those days. And I reached down, and I remember 3 hours in, like I grabbed the wire on this thing, and there was just no, like, dude, I had never felt of all the blue marlins and all the big stuff I'd caught, and all, I just never felt any power like this. It's just there, you weren't doing nothing with it. So 13 hours and 45 minutes into this fight, and I will never forget this. We hooked her at daylight. We fought her right there into the dark. And we had actually, which we knew we had forfeited the tournament, like we got that. Troy Turner, who's also from Fairhope, who is this dude's a man amongst boys, like a beast, got in this chair and ghosted. And literally, I'll never forget this. He rolled the drag back, just brought the drag all the way to free spool and just like cranked
Cranked
on the.
it
It was
down.
like click, click, click. I was like, oh, this is not good. And we blew the drag up about 2 hours after that. So we would, when the fish would go to make a run, we'd have to go all the way to free spool and just he'd hold his thumbs on it. And this ended this, and then go all the way back to full drag to get line. And this ended in the last hour. And again, for anybody listening, we knew that we had lost. Like we forfeited. We just want to kill this thing. So in the end of it, I would get under the rod and I would like push and he would pull. And so, like talk about trying your tackle out, like this was it. And we get this thing up there, and I will never forget this as long as I live. All of a sudden, the fish just makes this violent run for the surface and doesn't sky, but she comes out like head bobs out of the water back there. And I'm like, what is going on here? And about that time, Mako behind her just freaking, ooh.
Ooh.
And I'm like, everybody's heart on the boat sinks. No, no. And this Mako is only about 250 pounds. And so he's chasing her around. And Bo's like, throw the bait tray. Just throw the bait tray in between them, like maybe she'll turn off. Dude.
Ah.
So I did what I'm told because I'm good first mate. I do what my cotton toes do. Grab the entire bait tray, throw it.
The
He's
tray and
like,
everything.
he's like, not the effing tray, you idiot, just the bait. And I'm like, all right, you got me there, bro. And like, bro, she turns off, like Mako turns off, and fish runs over to the right, and Bo's like, GNS, like, dude, that thing will walk on water in reverse. And Bo just freaking firewalks it, just waves coming to the back, run up there, reach out, grab the leader. 13 hours and 45 minutes in, like this fish, like, still don't want to stop her. And I get about three good wraps, stand back in the corner into her, and the fish kind of goes out and then down. And I'm looking down, like the boat's kind of paused so I can see the whitewater's not blinding me. And it's getting dark enough, but you can still see, and like, bro, this Mako hits this thing in the tail, and it literally is just like, when it hit it, it didn't run up there like your regular crap eating shark. Like, it just, like
That's a different
those run
animal.
up there and
Mako's,
grab it and shake.
yeah, no,
Like,
not
this
a
thing was
Mako.
just like, whew, and just kept going. And like, I felt the life of this fish come out. When we got her up, we hit her with like, and Mako's still there. We hit her with like three flyers, and the GNS, the top of the door doesn't, or the top of the transom door doesn't come up. It's solid.
Yeah.
So like, now you're trying to get the flyers like through that, pull it through the door, and I'm the closest dude to the door,
And
right?
these things
And so,
jump, man.
yeah, yeah, man. Like, I'm the closest dude to the door, and we get this thing's head in, and bro, this Mako is like rolling on it behind it, and Bo's like hits the throttle. When Bo hits the throttle, I've got my foot up against the wedge right there of the door, and I'm like, bro, if I go out the back of this thing, it's over. We Bo hits the throttle, we go up, we snatch this thing in, and it's still got enough life left. The tail is held on by like a tendon that's like this big. Okay. Like, that's all that's pretty much holding the tail section. He hit her right back there between the anal fin and the tail. He got her about two or three times. And dude, this thing is like still so alive that my
After
biggest fear
13 hours.
after 13 hours and 45 minutes, this thing is still so alive that my biggest fear is it's going to get under the chair because it's still that lively, and it's going to knock the chair out of the boat. But it's hitting this deck, and it's going boom, 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 boom. And every time it hits, like, bro, the las hatch is like rattling up out of the thing. But we get her in there, Mako crushed her. And, everybody then, like, we already knew we forfeited, but it was still just part of it. But the best guess on this fish, like, when you lined her back up and you laid her nose to tail, and this is pulling it across her now. This ain't
Yeah.
pulling it flat on
Yeah.
the deck.
Yeah.
So pulling it across this fish, the best guess, like, lined up 111 inches.
Wow.
Like, absolute freaking tank. I don't know how big this thing was. We hooked it. Looking back, I think it was like, for what we weighed, the biologist who was there claimed that she had lost 25% of her body weight due to bite, to the bites that were on her. But when we weighed it, it was like in the 730. I think it was like 731 or something. I have to go back to my picture. So,
Still
freaking
nice
big
fucking
one.
fish, man.
Yeah, it was, this thing was grown. But yeah, Mako got me. So from that day on, I've just had a hatred for all sharks. I just hate sharks.
Here's my thing. And people think because of all the talking I do and all the, pushing to change something, people think I hate sharks, and I really don't. I absolutely love sharks. I'm a
This guy
fisher.
hates sharks. I'll just go ahead and say that.
This
Public
guy
service
hates no,
announcement. This guy hates
and
sharks.
that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I mean,
Not to the point that I'm going to go out there and dump Clorox bleach in the water and and
no,
and just
no,
blatantly, like, I'm a big believer in, if I'm going to kill something, I'm going to eat it. Okay.
100%. I'm
But
not
but
going to
I
kill
would
something
love
for
to see a lot of people eat sharks. Okay. Like, I wish you could pull up to McDonald's and be like, I'd like a McShark, please.
a McFillet.
Yeah, you got a McShark in there, bro. Like,
I I
you
I
want that?
was
You
I
want
was
that? You want that double size? Yeah, give me two McSharks.
I was sitting at a fishery meeting, and uh everybody knows my feeling on it. And they were announcing the winner of the Shark Art Award. And which, again, listen, my godson, who I just spent all day with yesterday, he
Yeah,
doesn't love anything in this world more than he loves sharks. And I buy him more shark books. He's 4 years old. I buy him
yeah,
shark books. I buy him shark toys, shark stuffed animals. I love it because if you love something in it, you're gonna love the ocean, and that's
There
my
you go.
biggest thing.
There
But
you
my
go.
but my problem is the humanization of sharks. Um, Listen, if you're gonna humanize something, humanize a blue marlin, man.
There you go. No,
Uh,
there, hey,
But
hey, I
but
get it.
but I get it. Listen, you want people to love sharks, and I'm okay with it. But it's a resource. It's no different than the trees in the forest that we need for two by fours. It's no different than the oil in the in underground that we use for the cars. It's a resource,
There you go.
and when you put this thing on a pedestal, it puts it in a protective zone where people aren't going to use it as a resource anymore, and it gets out of balance. And
That's
the
right.
one thing I don't want is I don't want it to become so unbalanced that people get hurt. And then when people get hurt, then they don't manage it. They wipe it. And I don't want to see that. That's my biggest issue.
Yeah.
The wrong person gets bit. And next thing you know, they're going to say, wipe them all out. And then we're starting at the wrong spot. My
I agree totally.
my thing is we have to manage it like we manage everything else, just like we manage deer.
Right.
We manage, listen, if too many deers are getting hit by cars, your bag limits and deer go up because now you
Bro,
got to thin it out.
I do my best to keep those numbers down, but unfortunately, the state only allows me so many. I've had a good year this year, and I'm sitting
T
on one
t
left on my tags,
Tell me
and
how
so
this weekend went. Did you kill anything?
bro, it actually went great. So this weekend went that I got one tag left in the state of Alabama. You're allowed 3 bucks in the state of Alabama. I've harvested two of those. I harvested one in November, and I hunt public land mainly. I harvested one in November. It's a good deer. And then I harvested another buck last week. And so now I'm kind of like at this panic zone of like I have 1 buck. And so my boss, he actually took me to Alabama River Lodge. And bro, I'm a public land hunter. Like they don't let me on nice places like this. Okay. So
You
like
got drinks and the whole nine
Bro,
yards,
bro,
man.
they cooked for us. Like I didn't have to sleep in the back seat of my truck. Like they were like, hey, like these dudes were like, hey, let us know you shoot a deer. Like we'll come down there and track it for you. Bro, I didn't know what to do. They knew I was out of play. They knew I didn't belong there. I was like offering to wash dishes and stuff. And so my boss took me out there. We had a great time in a day and a half of hunting. This is a morning hunt, an afternoon hunt, and one more morning hunt yesterday. I saw 13 bucks, 13 branch antlered bucks, and I saw 10 does and 3 raccoons. So I had a great hunt. I passed a deer that I had no business passing that I absolutely should have leveled. I was actually on the phone with my boss. He was sitting in his shooting house and I was in mine, and we were talking, and I was like, I got to let you go right now. And it walked out there and of course threw the gun up, took the safety off, and I was like, man, I got 1 buck left, and I have a big hunt coming this weekend. I drew a place. Actually, Captain Jason Bell from the blacksmith out of Orange Beach drew a hunt on a place that I grew up on, and I haven't been there in 20 years. I grew up there. It was my dad's from 10 years before I was born until I was 21. We lost it when I was 21. So I haven't been there in 20 years, and he drew the hunt there. They made it an SOA, which is a special opportunity area in the state of Alabama. So I have 1 buck left. So these last few days, I've just been like exerting extreme self control because there's nothing besides stroking blue marlins that I would rather do than kill rack bucks. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I listen, you're good.
That's
The only thing I'm holding against what you're saying, and
yeah.
I'm good with all of it, is I love to archery hunt. Don't
Bro,
get me wrong, I have no
yesterday,
problem squeezing the trigger.
so I went there. 90% of what I do is archery hunt on public land. I went there and it's definitely a gun hunt place. And so I saw that big deer and I asked the guide, I was like, hey man, like I know I'm sitting in a shooting house and I know this is out of line, but is there any way? Because I brought my bow with me. Can I go back down there and bow hunt? And he was like, sure, man. And I have my saddle in the truck. I'm a saddle hunter too. And so I went down there, got in my saddle, and bro, like for me, getting to even be on a place like this is epic. And just to be able to like take my bow and my saddle and now go hunt something that I don't have to look over my shoulder for the game warden on, like I'm like, bro, this is like poaching but I'm legal to be here, you know.
You're
And
looking
so
over your shoulder for the game
yeah,
warden. That's
yeah, nah,
awesome.
man. Like, yeah, and trust me, like when in my younger days, I was a preferred customer of theirs. Like they got my info in the system. And so I went, got to hunt. So I hunted yesterday I hunted the last afternoon and yesterday with my bow. Of course, did see the deer I was trying to kill. I guarantee if I took my gun down there, he walked out there at 30 yards. But I didn't see him. Got to see some other bucks. Nothing's really in range, had a couple small bucks, that probably that I might have could have got the shot, but dude, absolutely love it. And I guess that being said, yes, I prefer to bow hunt, but I wouldn't care if you gave me an atlatl, a tomahawk missile, a hatchet, whatever. If they had a hatchet season, I would be the dude in my neighborhood throwing hatchets in the front yard for like 2 hours. You know what
Practicing.
I mean? Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna have a badass hatchet, bro. I'm getting one.
Um,
So
it's so funny because my office in here, my girlfriend painted it this weekend. It was just, I'm like, babe, you need some help? She's, no, no, no. This is on my own. I'm like, okay, whatever. So
dang.
I went to Gatorland with my niece and nephew.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I talked to her on the way home, and she's like, no, no, everything's back together except for your bow. My bow is hung on a hook from my ceiling right here, right
Right.
next to the sliding glass door. Because in
Right.
between calls, I go outside and I'll shoot 6 arrows and practice, and then I hang it up. I figure usually after six, I'm kind of tired,
Yeah.
and six is kind of okay. I'm
Right.
going to just take cheap shots, and I don't want cheap shots. I want good
That's right.
practice.
Are you shooting
So
three at a time? Are you shooting two sets of three, or are you shooting all six at the same time?
all six,
Oh,
all
dude.
six, all six.
Okay. Okay. All
So
right. Savage, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Savage.
And I she calls when I talk to her. She's like, everything's back except your bow. I says, well, why don't you hang my bow up? She goes, I ain't touching your bow. you
Right.
you gotta go hang that thing. I'm like, fair enough.
No, no doubt. What bow you shooting now?
I am shooting a Matthews V3.
Okay. All
And
right.
it's so funny. I got a buddy of mine, a very dear friend of mine. He just bought a house in Montana. We were just up
Right.
there right before Christmas. And he's like, "Hey, you need to buy another bow." I'm like, "Fuck, my bow's only 3 years old. I'm not a retired baseball player like you are. I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
just buy bows." He goes, "No, no, I want you to buy another one and just keep it at my house so you don't have to bring another bow back and forth." I go, "That okay, that's fair. I can see that point. Like I keep one. I go to Nova Scotia every year tuna
He said
fishing.
he said a bear, Montana.
No, no, he bought a house in Montana."
Okay. Okay.
Up
All
in
right.
Hamilton.
Okay.
So he's him and his family are moving up there, and he's putting in a whole hunting room. He showed me. He goes, "You can
Yeah.
keep your own locker here, and you keep your bow here. So when let's say you're flying in from somewhere, because I'm
Oh,
flying
dude.
all over the place." He's like, "Don't even bother going back home to get your shit. Just come to the house." And my girlfriend and I are very good friends with his family. My girlfriend's going up with his wife and his daughter to go crystal hunting, sapphire hunting
Right.
in the
Right.
spring. And so he's like, man, just buy another bow, keep it here, keep a whole second set of shit up here so you can just come hunting anytime you want. And I was up there, like I said, before Christmas, and one of his buddies, one of his neighbors, who actually scouted him when he was in high school. He's
Yeah.
a baseball player as well. He came up tuna fishing with me, and when we were going up there, I'm like, "Hey man, I want to shoot an elk. I need some elk for the freezer." He goes, "Do you really have to squeeze the trigger, or you just want to fill your freezer?" I says, "I just want to fill my freezer." He goes, "Just bring two empty coolers, dude." Just bring two empty coolers. So I came home. I've got elk, I've got buffalo, I've got antelope, I've got
Oh, that's
moose,
cool, man.
all from this year. And I'm
Bro.
like, dude, this is
That
and to boot, have you ever had fresh huckleberries?
no, I haven't. I have
Bro, he
not.
gave me two 1 gallon zipper bags full of huckleberries, the most delicious thing you've ever eaten in your life.
Really?
If you ever get the opportunity to go and pick huckleberries,
Right?
go do it.
Bro, the only thing that I've ever found like that on any of the management areas that I've ever been in, I was in the Midwest. This has been I don't know, probably 20 years ago, and I'm walking through the woods, and I was actually in Missouri, and this like best friend, he's like my brother, Tim Stewart. He's a boat captain. Right now he's running a gunslinger right here out of Destin. But
For Gunner Adams?
yep, he's running for
Okay.
Gunner and
Okay.
James. Yep, and the whole that's Clark and Houston too. Don't leave them out. That's my boy. That's my
I
boys right
Gunner's the
there,
one I
bro.
talk to most of the time. Gunner
Oh,
calls
G
me
Man,
up every year.
bro, G Man. Yeah, we talk all the time. Those are the Adams family's my boys, but he's Tim's running their boat now. But Tim and I were in the Midwest, public land, and I'm walking through, and bro, it's like before daylight, and I'm way back in this place. And in those days, like these are the times before Onyx when you actually had to hunt. Like when you had to be a real hunter. And I'm like walking through the timber, got my bow. It's before daylight, and bro, the smell hits me, and I'm just like, what is that? And it's just straight marijuana, bro. I'm like, what in the
What?
world? I'm like,
Out in the
bro,
public.
this is public land. And so I get in my tree, and like throughout the morning, my tree is only from where I smelled this to my tree is only like 40 yards. I mean, it's legit like 40 yards from my tree. So like the wind's kind of swirling, light and variable that day. And I'd seen all kinds of deer, but I just keep smelling it. I'm like, what in the world? So I get down like probably about noon. I'm going back to the truck, and I just walk the same trail. And I realized that it looks like a small patch of CRP, like in these woods, and it is a straight, like
Grove.
probably about a quarter of an acre of just solid marijuana, like this sea of marijuana that I have pushed my way through. But it's hemp, bro. It does
Oh,
not. It was hemp. It was like the straight hemp.
good
That's the
on
only
you, man.
thing. Yeah, yeah. But
I
like,
was worried the cartel was coming after
no,
you.
bro, no. But bro, the buds on these things were like this long, and I'm standing in this, and I'm like, so I get Tim, and dude, this is one of his funniest stories to tell. I'm like, bro, listen. We could pay for every hunting trip that we got to abort this mission. We got to get backpacks, garbage bags, whatever we got to do. And we got to find somebody to buy all this stuff. And he's like, it's not going to do us any good, bro. It's just hemp.
It's
So
just him.
but yeah, look, moral of the story, I'm still broke, bro. I'm still eating bologna sandwiches, going deer hunting, but I'm here and I'm not in prison. So
Well,
it's all
thank God,
right.
man. Listen, I
Yeah.
with all the time, I mean, me growing up off of South Florida, I have seen some square groupers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, if I see one, I go the opposite fucking direction.
Yeah. No.
It is none of my fucking business.
Nope.
Zero.
I have a good friend of mine that works for the Coast Guard, and he told, and this is probably good information that's anybody out there listening to this that ever might come up on one, but he's told me with a lot of their stuff today, he's like, man, a lot of times we know that's there and we're watching it. So long story short is
I,
don't be picking up dope offshore. You know what I mean? It's
I
not mine in the first place. I don't want them at my house coming to ask me about it.
First of all, it's not mine. Second of all, that's just like it's like 5,200. You know when you touch 5,200 and it
Yeah,
gets
it
everywhere?
gets everywhere.
It Man, I have
Yeah.
no I'm a fisherman. That's
Yeah.
it. I'm
Dude, no, no, that's it. I completely agree. Like, we're not messing with this. We're gonna go the other way. I've seen them out there before too. I was actually with the G-Man one day, and we thought we found the mother lode. Unfortunately, we pull up on this thing, bro, and it's like a perfect circle, and it's got fish netting in the middle of it, and there's just all these black, like just black squares. And as we're driving by it, me and G looked at it. And if he's listened to this, he remembers the story. Like, we looked at this thing and it's going by, and we looked at each other, and he was like, no. And we backed up there. Bro, since finding this, it was the most badass fad that I've ever seen built. It was like this perfect, it looked like a steel hula hoop, and
uh-huh.
it had netting in the middle, and they took black, like oil jugs and put them like all in there like perfect. But it looked like the mother lode when we came by. Unfortunately, it just had some triple tail on it. We didn't get rich. It wasn't a retirement package. So here I am, bro. I'm
That that
still poor.
that
Still poor, bro.
that's not the retirement package I want, man. It really
That
isn't.
I know, man. That's a joke, but that's what when me and my mates we talk about the same thing. Like whenever we see one floating, I'm like, well, there goes a retirement package. So we do see them.
There was one time I was young, man. I was like 21. I was in St. Thomas. I worked for this guy that had a house in the British Virgin Islands. He had a 58 Monterey. I was in St. Thomas picking up something. I don't know. And I called my captain up and I'm like, we had a 23 Mako. And I'm like, hey, I'm about ready to leave. I'm going to leave in about 5 minutes. Is there anything else you need? He goes, no, but come
Think
straight to
less
the
about it.
house. Come straight to the house. And if you see anything, do not stop. Do not turn your head. Do not anything. I'll explain it to you when you get here. I'm like, okay. So I took off, and anybody who's been in St. Thomas, I was running through the
Oh
islands
yeah.
and through Drake Passage.
You drove on the wrong side of the road, didn't you?
No, oh yeah, yeah, but no, no, I
Yeah.
was going by boat. I was going by boat.
Okay,
So
okay.
I left, and then I checked in at West End, and then I ran on the south side of Tortola and
Mhm.
around Beef Island. And
Right.
as I'm coming up on Beef Island, you saw Square Grouper. And I'm like, motherfucker, look at that. And I'm like, no, he specifically said, don't, whatever you do, just
Yeah.
don't stop. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And like you said, I was a good first mate. My
Yep.
captain says something, I'm
You
just
do
coming
it.
home. And then I go another 100 yards and there's another one. I saw like six of them. And I get back to the house and I go, Cap, you'll never guess what I saw. He goes, don't tell me, square groupers. I'm like, how the fuck did you know? He goes, it's all over the news. There was a boat that sunk off of Anagata or on its way to Anagata. And all of this stuff is floating through the islands. And, um, and this is before social media. We're talking,
Right.
oh man, I can't remember. I want to
Before
say,
the time you'd
well,
get caught.
this was like this is the 1900s.
Up,
This was
bro.
1996,
Yeah.
95. So anyway, long story short, that's what it was
Yeah.
and I'm sure with everybody listening to the news over the last 3 months, they know how much stuff gets run from South America into the islands, and that's all it was. But I was just a young kid, and it was like, no, I'm glad he told me because being 21, what is this? Oh, no. I'm so glad he said that. And ever since then, I've heard so many other weird stories where people call Coast Guard and then they
No,
put you.
I'm not doing any of that. We're riding right by and minding our own business because number
Yeah,
one, I don't want to deal with the Coast Guard. Number two, I surely don't want to deal with who owns that stuff. So
yeah.
that's their business. My business is the fishing business. So as long as I stay out of their business, I'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Amen, brother. Fishing is our business.
no, that's it, man. I'm gonna fish for something else. I ain't trying to catch a charge. You know what I mean? I'm trying to
Yeah.
catch a blue marlin. So
So, how long's your boat staying in Key West for?
man, we're coming home. I'm hoping into next week. I've got to go down. I have a group going down this week. We've kind of used it like as a floating condo down
Uh-huh.
there. We were going to go to the DR. However, we've got some things that we want to do to the boat before tournament season in Key West and then the DR, and then getting this stuff done really conflicts with our schedule. So we're going to come on back. I'm scheduled to haul out the second. So I'm hoping to come home like 25th, 26th, and we're right here in the middle
Uh,
of rut.
of
So,
January?
yep, yep,
Okay.
January. And that's so for up here for us, I live right here in Beulah, Florida. Like the Alabama line is right here. Northwest Florida, South Alabama, our rut, talking about whitetails, is
Yeah.
right now. And my wife knows one thing that when it comes to the Midwest rut, which is like November 1st through the 20th, and then like January 12th to February 10th, our last day, like, dude, it's not a good time around my house. Just trust me. But my wife knows, like, I'm going to be deer hunting. So whenever that I have to travel during the rut, it's like, oh my God, the whole time I'm sitting down there, like, I don't even want to turn my phone on because
Yeah.
I know people are sending dead deer pictures. And then, like, as soon as you flip to Instagram, it's just everybody's in the woods. So I'm in. Fortunately, like, man, talk about a true blessing. My boss loves to deer hunt. We're a lot like we hunt hard. He's a hardcore hunter, just like I am. So he told me before we went to Key West, he's like, "Hey, look, I want the boat to go to Key West." He's like, "But I know you deer hunt like I do, so we're just gonna use a floating condo." He was like, "Come back here, deer hunt. Get your deer hunting done, and then go down there." So, and I've been down there 3 times, I think now in the last
Are you
month.
driving back and forth? Or are you flying?
Bro, so I drove last week and I drove the time before that. I
That's
like to
a
drive.
yeah, but that's a long drive. That's got to
Nah,
be like
bro.
9 hours.
Nah, bro. I got that C71 out there in the driveway. It's black. I call it night train, baby. I put that thing. I normally tear out of here about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Dude, two
You
Diet
oh, you
Cokes.
roll all night.
Oh yeah, bro. I got two Diet Cokes at least in the cup holder beside me, two Kansas in. I'm fitting to light it up. You know what I mean? Like straight there. Bro, I'm telling you, like when I go to
Ah.
the Midwest and stuff, I don't fly. I leave out of my driveway at 5 o'clock because you beat the traffic. And like when I go hunt Missouri, Illinois, Kansas, Nebraska, wherever I'm going, I leave out about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I'm driving through the night. So when the sun's coming up in the morning, I'm up there in God's country, man, watching deer, running people's fields and stuff. And that's just how I do. I hate little tidbit here of information about me. I hate flying. I'm terrified
Do
to
you
death.
really?
Oh, bro, it's bad. My wife and I just flew back from Wyoming and we went out to Jackson Hole. And so we're out there and she's like in the seat beside me and she's like, "Are you okay?" I'm back. Because, dude, I'm a boat captain, man. Like, you know how much stuff breaks every day?
I
You know,
know,
like,
but still,
bro, like I'm a boat captain. What do you think? They're just gonna climb out on the wing and be like, "Hey, we got to replace a water pump out here. Y'all hold her over." You know, like generator went out. We're not going to have AC or, what if old Cuz over there forgets to fuel that thing up? You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
you know how many times I've left the dock and been like, damn it, I got to go get some more fuel, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like any of this stuff can happen. And when you're however
no.
many thousands of feet up there, you're not just going to be
I,
like, hey, somebody climb out there to the wing. We caught a bird over there, bro.
I'm one of the few people that likes turbulence. I fucking
Yeah.
love it because it makes me feel like I'm on a boat again.
Nah, bro, not
It's
me, not at all. I
it's
always get my seat in the back. You're gonna laugh, bro. I always try and get my seat in the back. Like, give me the furthest back seat, okay? Because if you do that, if you actually go online and you look this stuff up, it'll tell you that the people in the back of the plane typically survive.
well,
You know what I mean,
let's get something straight. The first thing that you're doing wrong is checking out survival rates of people in a fucking plane crash. Don't do that shit.
bro? I'm
Don't
just
do
telling
that
you, like,
shit.
I don't like to fly. I like to drive, and people are like, you always hear people be like, "Oh, driving's way worse." You know, like there's
Yeah,
people
driving
die
is
in automobiles every day. Well, not as many people drive as they fly. You know what I mean? So, like,
listen,
if there's
flying.
many planes up there, there'd be just that many
There's a lot
deaths.
of fucking. Have you ever looked at Fly
Dude, there's
Nowhere?
not that. I'm telling you, you ever been down to the
Listen,
mall and seen
I
all the planes parked in the mall? There's cars
I am
parked
a
down there.
fucking Cuban. My people like sea
No,
level. We like sea
bro.
level.
Bro, I just don't like planes. I'm always the dude that's just like eye hustling everybody in there. Like I know this dude's terrorist. I know this old man. It's like 75. He's a sleeper, bro. They got me. They got me on this thing. Every time the plane turns, I'm like, this ain't the direction we're supposed to be going. I can see
I
the sun.
I you know what? It is so funny you say that because there was one time I was on a plane. It was recently. Where the hell was I going to? Uh, I was in the seat backwards.
Oh no. Nah.
So
Game over, bro. Take me home.
we're
Let me
taking off and
I'll
I'm
walk there,
facing
bro.
towards the and it was late. So all I'm trying to do is get off so I can go to sleep because there was a long flight. And then suddenly as we're taking off, I'm like, "Oh my God, what's that noise in front of us?" It wasn't in front or it wasn't in back. Or it wasn't in front of us, it was in back because I was facing backwards. I'm like, "Holy shit, there's another plane." I totally forgot I'm half
No.
asleep. Oh my
No,
God.
man.
I was freaking out. No,
No.
man. It's
No.
here's the thing. When the good Lord decides to come down and get
I'm in
me,
total agreement of that. I
there's
completely
not a
understand.
there's not a
I
damn thing we're gonna do.
I get it, but I cannot get on a plane. Like if I can drive there, I drive there. That's it, bro. I just like to drive.
Here's my thing. LA to LA meaning lower Alabama
Yeah, yeah,
To Atlanta
right.
to about Charleston. Anywhere from there south, I'll drive. Outside of that, I'm flying.
No, I get it, man. I get it. Like I've flown to Alaska. I've been to a few places that were like a long way away. And okay, so like Josh Goodson that runs to Miss Angela is like one of my best friends. And that dude, which by the way, if he's watching, I just want to put this out there.
He'll watch. He'll watch because I'm going to
You're
send you
so
the link.
you're
You
you're
you said
soft, bro. You're soft. If you know Josh, that is like the dude that's not soft. So I just got to give him a little. I always joke with him, but Josh has the Miss Angela, and he's over there in Cape Verde, and he's been trying to get me to come over there fish. Bro, I want to go so bad. Like it has nothing else to do with this 24-hour or 17-hour flight, whatever this is. Like they're gonna have to put me down, dude. Like you're gonna have to zip tie me to a chair and you're gonna have to knock me out. I don't care if you do it with a baseball bat or medicine, whatever, but I just can't be on a plane that long. I will go.
do you
It's
you
not good.
you want me to take you over there? I have I
Bro,
have a, I have a couple of friends I've had to take places because they're afraid to fly.
it's like, and I will do anything else you want to do. Like it's not, I just, I, to get there on a
Wait
plane,
a
like I'm
second.
terrified to fly.
Anything? Have you ever spent time in a Turkish prison?
Dude, I haven't been there. I don't really like to talk about my jail stays very much, bro,
No,
but
it's all good.
it's not in Turkey though for sure, but
Uh,
I've been for turkeys, but
yeah.
not in Turkey.
Here's the thing, because I fly a lot. I mean, I fly
Yeah,
a shit pile. I'm like right now, I'm sitting on 269,000 miles this year. I've crossed the Pacific 3 times. No, no, wait a second. I've done 3 round trips over the Pacific. I've done 5 over the Atlantic and a round trip over the Indian, just in this past calendar year. And I fly a lot, but a lot of it has to do with planning shit out. Like
right.
where do you stop? Uh,
Are you talking about the pilot? Like I would hope that dude planned it out, you know.
no, 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 I don't.
I hope he's not
Uh,
like me on tournament day that's
br-
like, I think I'm going here, but we got to go here because we don't have enough fuel, you know?
your boss trusts you, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
he does.
then you just got to trust the pilot that he's doing his thing. And if he,
You don't ever high hustle them dudes when you get on there? Like, do you ever just look at the
oh,
pilot? Like you
absolutely.
walk on there and you just look at them?
Well, every single
You
one
ever
of
do
them.
that? I do. I
The
always walk
first
on
thing
there.
I
I'm like,
do is, how are you today, sir? I'm giving him a mental checklist. I want to make
yeah.
sure, how you doing today? Eh. I don't want to hear,
Yeah. No,
eh.
no, bro. I'm off. I'm out
I want to
right
hear,
now.
I want to hear my answer. I am doing super duper incredible, young man. Actually, I don't have anybody calling me young man anymore.
Come on now.
Well,
No, man.
no, I even had one flight attendant that was almost like a therapist to me. She's like, "How
Yeah.
are you doing today, sir?" I says, "Normally I am doing super duper incredible, but today I'm having a little bit of an issue." She goes, "Really?" And I said, "Well, they were doing oh my God, what do they call that? They were kind of doing like an inventory at this airport because American Airlines, not in this country, they just kind of rent the people to do these few lanes, and they had people come in from the States, and they were verifying everything, that everything was double checked and triple checked, and I couldn't walk 10 feet without somebody asking me for my passport and asking me where I'm coming from and what I was doing there. And I was like, listen, I don't mind if you ask me that question. I really don't. I have no problems. But because of the fact that they were doing this evaluation,
Yeah.
everybody was asking. And I had been up all night long. I had an overnight layover. The sun is just coming up. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning when I'm boarding the plane. I've got a 16-hour flight ahead of me. I just want to get on the plane and go to sleep. And the
Right.
last person, he's like, sir, can I see your passport?
Oh no.
And I'm like, here you go. Where are you coming from? I'm like, come on, man. Are you going to ask me what was I doing there too? You're like the seventh person to ask me this. So I got on the plane. I told the flight attendant, I said, I feel really bad. And then I I got on X and I wrote to American Airlines. I said, listen, that you guys were doing this in this airport, and everybody was phenomenal. I said I was very tired, and I want to apologize. I didn't cause a scene or nothing, but I just finally told the one guy, "Really, you're like the seventh guy that asked me this question." I said I
Yeah.
really want to apologize. Everybody that you guys have here at this airport, this is the flight I'm on. This is my flight number. I want to get, you guys are always phenomenal to me, and I want to give you a thumbs up. And there's no way I can remember who this person was, but what was going on, please let everybody know. Uh, my bad. 100%
I
my, I
I
just
get
want,
it,
I just want to go to sleep. I want to
bro.
have, get on the plane, eat a little breakfast, and then go to sleep.
See that's the good thing about like when I get night train out there, bro. If I want to pull into like Bucky's or something and get some sleep, I just pull in there and get like an hour, like lay back in my truck seat, take an
Yeah.
hour nap.
See, and you're not worried about lot lizards.
Bro, let me tell you, I keep that thing on me if you get what I'm saying.
I,
I'm
I know,
telling you something.
I know what you're
Yeah,
saying, but
I'm toting that 10. I promise you of that. I got
uh,
15 of them up in
I,
that thing, double stacked. We
I,
we can
I,
get down how you want. You know what I'm saying? You
I
can go
tell,
about your day or you can get mag dumped right here in this parking lot. Don't matter to me. But I'm fixing to catch some Z's in this truck. You know what I mean?
yeah, I guess
Not
if you're gonna do it in the parking lot of Bucky's is better than just on the side of the road somewhere.
bro, side of the road. It done like when I go on these, well, I'll go on these public land hunts and stuff like that. I sleep in the back seat of my truck. I'm only 5'6", like I'm like half the size of a normal man. So like I can lay out comfortably in my back seat and I'll just go to sleep there. I just park my truck, whatever, asleep in there. I got it figured out now. You can actually take like a Honda generator, like the suitcase one, and you can just crack the window like this much and run an extension cord in and you can plug it up to an electric blanket and it will heat the entire truck. Like you don't even have to have it on. You can like lay it in the
See,
floor.
you're thinking backwards from me. I was thinking of opening up that back window and putting an AC in
No,
there.
dude. No, dude, it's cold, man. Like I watch my weather. That's the thing. Like I try and this week we got some really cold weather coming in. And so like, and today it's really cold. Of course, we're on podcasts, which is cool, but like I would have surely hunted today. And so I try and watch my
Tell
weather.
your wife I said you're welcome, by the way.
Oh, she already thanks you for that. And so I got home yesterday. I even cooked dinner. But
My
no,
man.
yeah, but no, we like I watch the weather. And so I'll one thing is a lot of these places I'm hunting are like national forests throughout Alabama. And so in a national forest, and a lot of them you got to check the rules, but a lot of them say, hey, you can camp or you can overnight there. And so I'll park my truck where I'm going to hunt for the next 2 days, and I'll just park it right there, so I don't have to worry about really essentially anybody coming in there hunting on me if my truck's there. And when your truck stays for 2 days, like you can see it in their faces sometimes. I'll be standing there getting ready to go in the morning, and because I kind of got a little system of how I do my things in the morning, like getting ready to go. But like you'll see it, they'll pull in there, and you'll just be sitting there like smiling. They're like, "This dude got us again, bro. I haven't left in 2 days, so I'll be here." And
Well, tell us your system. What's your system, man? Don't just hold
man,
up. Don't hold
no,
off
no,
on us.
I got a system, man, like of how like, if I'm gonna go do this, like I have this little miniature tarp that I keep in the back of my truck before I go to bed at night. If it's not raining, I'll just like put it out on the ground right there by my passenger door. So when I wake up in the mornings and I go to step out of my truck, I'm not stepping on dry, dirty ground or whatever, like step out on my little tarp right there and like I'll get dressed right there and everything. And this is gonna sound bad, man, but bro, yeah, I don't get a shower for 2 days. So, but it's 2 days. You'll be all right. I change clothes. I keep my clothes in a rough tote in the back of the truck. I'd normally, if it's not going to rain that night, I'll always hang my clothes. Like I'll literally go out there and like just hang my clothes on a limb somewhere, on coat hangers to be out in the outdoors. Dude, I'm like, I'll take my clothes literally. If I, and this is going to sound bad, man. Like, if I can find a fresh scrape somewhere the Buck's made, like, I will literally take in a Ziploc bag I keep in my backpack, and I will dig the dirt out of that scrape, put it in my Ziploc, and then literally, like, before I go in the woods that morning, I will like completely rub my clothes down with this dirt. Like, and you're like filthy, I also like, I always save the hawks off a buck, on his back leg if he's in the rut and it smells. I have Ziplocs full of them in my deep freezer, and I'll take those hawks and just rub them from like my head down my arms, all and I do have rubber gloves I use simply because of the fact that if you wipe your nose like that in the woods and it's cold, you will smell a rutting buck for the next 2 days. So but literally, like I'll coat my clothes with this stuff. I hang them up. I use my little tarp there. I got a Yeti cooler in the back of my truck. A big bologna sandwich guy, so I'll literally eat bologna sandwiches and Little Debbie's for like 2 days. But everything's set up. I keep my bow in the truck with me. I'm ready to go. I got a bow target in the back. Guess I need to shoot my bow. Some of this stuff's like one of the places that I hunt. It's primitive weapons, so you can hunt with a muzzleloader. It's big hills, so a lot of it is real open in there. Not a lot of thickets to get in with a bow, so I muzzleloader hunted a lot. But keep my stuff in my truck. Typically, when I leave the truck in the morning, I'm not coming back until after dark. So I'm in there like all day. And now with this is actually my first season using a saddle. I did this with a climber for all my life, and I'm 41. But this season, I got to eat some crow here, especially guys like Miles Colley that runs the It Just Takes Time. Miles has been using a saddle, and he kept like I was dogging him out hard, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, oh, I can't believe he'd hunt out of that. And finally, last year, I was just tired of walking forever with this, with the stand and it's getting hung up on briars and brush because bro, I'm 5'6", bro. This thing sticks out like this far on both sides. So it's like I would walk through something and get like hung up. So I got this saddle finally. I'm sure maybe Miles will listen. Like, bro, I'm eating crow right now. Should have done it 10 years ago. But I'll take my saddle. I'm mobile now. Like the coolest thing about the saddle is I can be in a tree bow hunting and be like, I need to be 60 yards over there. And it's
And
so quiet that I can just ease down that tree and make that 60 yard. It might take me an hour and a half to make it 60 yards, just making one step at a time. But once I get there, I typically be in my tree and set up within 15 minutes.
what are you using sticks?
So that's another one. So now I've gone Captain Jason Bell from the blacksmith and Zach Redman, who fishes for Landon Bell on the Southern Charm. Both of them are one stick guys.
Okay.
And they both came over. Jason Bell actually gave me a tethered one stick, and I took and did some stuff to it. I put like this rope binder on it, and I built my own what they call an aider. So it's like most guys, okay, so going back to this, most guys are using like 3 and 4 step aiders. Bro, I'm 5'6". I built a 3 step aider. I couldn't even like by the time I stuck it on the tree where it's going, the bottom step of the aider is just laying on the ground. So I have a 2 step aider because it's just too
Okay.
tall for me to reach. So I started doing the one stick thing with like the descent rope down.
Uh-huh.
I've noticed, if you have trees, not pine trees, but if you've got trees that are like, slick bark, stuff like that, to me, it's great. When you get on a pine tree, you're just like typically covered in sap by the time I get there. It's louder. So I do the one stick, and I have also, a 4 stick set of Hawk Heliums that I'll take with me. They're not super quiet, but they work.
Listen, for me personally, I bought my first saddle for the life of me. I think it was called Woodsman. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look. Uh, but I was doing my podcast at the outdoor expo, and one of the people set up was this saddle guy, him and his wife. And
Mhm.
she's like, "Hey, will you come over and use our saddle and do a video with it?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Sure." I went over there, and this is what sold me on it was the
Yeah.
fact that I got up in the saddle. I was able to turn completely upside down,
Yeah. Yeah.
completely, and I was I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Uh, but the saddle was so perfect because, man, you could swing left, right, go around the
It's
tree. It is the most comfortable thing in the world.
the one thing that I really like about it is just not being seen. Like these deer, like I can keep the tree between the deer and myself and kind of squirrel around the tree. And I video a lot of stuff with my phone, and I video a lot of deer. And just one thing I've noticed is like I'm able to squirrel around the tree and video these deer. And man, I've got deer coming in there that essentially like I could like spit on them. They're so close, and these deer are not paying me any attention. Um,
That's the cool thing about them, where you can use the tree to your advantage.
There you go. And it goes back to, like I've been hunting out of an old man vision climber since I was 15. I still have the original old man vision. I'd use a newer one, but I had hunted out of one forever. And I got it to where, I got a lot of stuff tweaked on it to where it's super quiet. My thing is being quiet, being quiet, of course, hunting the wind, but oh, it got to where, you're if you look through the woods and you're looking for a deer, what are you looking for? You're looking for something that's horizontal and not vertical. And when you're sitting in that climber, you're sitting there horizontal, and it just got to where I felt like deer were really picking us off a whole lot easier, especially your mature bucks. Down here we have a lot of pole timber. If I can find pole timber in the south, places like Blackwater Management Area, Kanaka Forest, Purdue River Management Area, if I can find pole timber in there and it has a browse that hasn't been burned under it in, say, 3 to 7 years, typically that's where I'm gonna find my bucks. But when you get above that 7 foot, they can pick you out. And so many times now, I have a bino harness and I stay on my binos all day. Like that's it. Like I literally, like, I probably pick my bow up if I'm gonna shoot, but that's it, or my gun. And I stay on my binos. And I can't tell you how many mature bucks that I've seen in the last 10 years that are, standing on what I'll call a soft edge, meaning that where mature timber meets timber that's anywhere from, I'd say, 18 to 12 foot in height. And they're standing just inside this and they're just scanning the trees. And they're scanning whatever, but I know they're looking at the trees. I'm like, how many times does a mature buck stand back in there that you would have never got the opportunity to see because he's been standing in there for 20 minutes watching? He sees you in that tree or sees you move. And I really do believe that with that saddle, keeping that tree between where my deer are potentially should come from has just been a game changer.
Yeah, they're really nice. And for those people like me in the dark, I love falling asleep in a tree.
Oh,
I
dude,
I absolutely fucking
bro.
love fall when it's cold. You're up there, you have another at least 45 minutes before you even get twilight.
Dude,
And bro, you're all set up, you got your shit hanging, and it's
yeah,
like now you're just waiting. You can't look, you can't see. Let's take a quick
I,
little
I haven't
snooze.
taken a nap in my saddle because I hunt with a single panel. I hunt with a tethered Phantom. One of my really good friends, Lincoln Mixon from here, actually gave me a tethered Phantom, and he gave me a set of sticks and was like, "Here you go, man." Like, so I can't sleep in mine. But I will tell you that if you're ever walking through national forest or public land and you see some dude that's laying at the base of his tree, that's me. Like, I will climb down, I take my backpack, put it at the base, and I just put my head on it and go to sleep.
Oh, so
And
you won't stay up in the stand.
if I'm in my climber, I do. Like my old man climber, I had a system that I could sleep in that thing. And bro, I would go to sleep. Like
I,
I've only done it one time to where I went to sleep and woke up after dark. I fell asleep probably about 3:30 in the afternoon in Alabama. And I woke up and when I see it was dark, it's like, bro, it's eight
it's
o'clock. It's time to go
dark.
home,
It's
and
dark.
but my saddle, I haven't been able to go to sleep in that thing. And I will say this and maybe there's some more comfortable saddles out there. Um, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm not hunting out of a saddle because it's more comfortable. I'm not hunting out of a saddle because it's quicker for me to get in the tree. I'm hunting out of a saddle because of how quiet it is, how I don't believe that the deer see you, because instead of sitting like this, you're now sitting like the V of a tree. Um, I have several reasons why I'm doing it. Comfort is not one of those. It is,
Yeah.
bro, mine, like, it's miserable.
Is
I
it
can't tell you.
really?
Oh, it's miserable, bro. It's
Man.
miserable, dude. Like my back, yeah, and so I would never say that it to me, like the one that I'm in. And I'm sure there's a comfortable one out there. I love my saddle the way that I've got this thing. I don't think I'll
Uh,
ever change. Creature of habit, but I will tell you this, like, I will not hunt out of one because I know how much it's changed the game for me in just one season. So I'm forever going to hunt this thing. And that being said, like, I come back to the truck at night and I'm just like, oh my God, I just let me sit down, please.
oh, see, and I learned this while fishing. Um, I'll tell everybody. I don't hide this at all. Uh, the movie Forrest Gump where Lieutenant Dan says there's two things. You got to have dry socks and good feet. When I fished on the real tight, I'd
Yeah.
leave to go to St. Thomas with 8 pairs of shoes because
Oh my gosh.
I will not fish in wet shoes
No,
because
it's funny you say that. The guys that fish with me will tell you when they go to spray that water hose, I'm like, whoa, whoa, let me stop you right. Let me get out
don't
of the way.
yeah, don't wet my feet.
Don't
And
spray my feet.
my and you knew how good of a day we had by the number of shoes that were in the engine room. Because after
Bro,
every
have you wore canes yet? Have you tried
no, no,
them?
you got to understand, I haven't worked a cockpit full time in
Well,
12
just
years.
anywhere
Yeah,
fishing, man. So like
yeah.
I have to wear tennis shoes. I can't stand to wear flip-flops. And
I can't. I have to
I
wear shoes,
I will not allow my crew to fish in flip-flops. Like that's the one thing for me.
and that's
You want to get yanked over the back of the boat on the wire or on flying gaff, whatever it is, get a pair of flip-flops on.
yeah,
Like you got no stopping power. And so I make these guys that fish with me like, hey, you're gonna fish in tennis shoes. We'll buy the tennis shoes for you if we need to,
yeah.
whatever. But so last year my wife got me a pair of canes because she knows that I hate wet feet. And dude, like I'm not sponsored by Canes to tell you this in any way,
Yeah.
but I'm here to tell you like Cane makes a shoe and it's kind of like it's basically out of the same material as a Croc. And I don't wear Crocs, but this thing right here, it's a tennis shoe, but it's out of that same material and it dries. So literally, you're out there if you're in the cockpit and it's rough, you're gonna get wet feet. I don't care it's happening, especially with like tuna tubes, now that we've got that
Oh yeah.
everything we do is live baiting, like you're gonna have wet feet. Try the canes out, man. I think they're
I'll,
like $68 or something like
I'll
that.
check them out.
Yeah.
I'll check because I'm yeah now I'm just regular sneakers with a good insole. But man, what a
No.
did like I I just changed my shoes. I change my shoes like every 6 months, and I know when I need to change shoes because I start getting pains either in my knee or my hip. So my
Yeah.
hip right now is a little tender, and I changed shoes last week. And the reason I went to shoes was when I was 31 or 32, I had plantar fasciitis or fascia,
Hmm.
yeah, where it's the collapsing of the heel. And I went to my doctor. He's like, "Hey, man, you can't wear bare feet anymore." And ever since then, and I don't mind. I just change my shoes, put on new socks, and that's my thing. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm comfortable. And going back to what we were talking about is when I'm deer hunting, I want to be comfortable because if
Yep.
I'm not comfortable, then it's like, man, when's it time to get down? But
Bro.
when you're comfortable, I could sit there all day long.
Bro, I'm a public land guy, so comfort kind of goes out the window for me. Like
You
you
still
should come,
listen,
you should come up here and hunt with me for about 3 days.
you
Just plan 3 days to come up here and hunt. You can't sleep in my truck. You'll have to bring your own truck. Maybe we'll get a motel or something.
listen, my truck is pretty good. I slept in my truck. I have a Tahoe. So my girlfriend is an equine vet.
Okay.
So my Tahoe is her old work truck. So she has a new Tahoe. She has a big old medicine cabinet for all her drugs and all the stuff for the horses. So when she needed to get a new vehicle, she says, "Hey, clear your truck out. We're turning your truck in. You're going to take my Tahoe." So once she took out the medicine cabinet, there's no seats back there. I got an air mattress that sits perfectly in the back.
Dude, that's
It's in
this
fucking
man. We're getting
comfy.
it, bro. That's comfort, man. That's
Oh,
comfort,
listen, I'm a little bitch when it comes to that. There's two
dude.
things when I travel, and I travel all over the world. There's two things I need. I need a safe place to sleep, meaning I don't need people walking in because I've had people walk into my room before and I've had to
Right,
I didn't have to go fisticuffs. I started breaking
right.
conch shells over their head.
Oh
And,
man,
and the other thing is I need a good place to use the bathroom in the morning. And when I say a good place, a
bro.
tree.
There's so many
Big,
good trees. There's
that's
so many good trees out there that you can lean up against.
that's all I need.
Bro.
That that's all I
Definitely.
need.
I'm nah, dude. I have three toolbox, I have two side boxes and a big box on my truck. All three of them strategically, they're striking paper or toilet paper. That's like it's like place that I can get to it fast. You know what I mean? Because you're in the woods, bro. You get hit in the morning. Grim
You,
Reaper catches you in the gut, bro. You got to
you
run.
you gotta go, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta go.
If
You,
you could look, there's two things that will forever be in my truck: Diet Cokes and toilet paper. If the world ever ends, just get to my truck, bro. You'll survive.
I don't know about Diet Cokes. I'm a water guy.
Oh no, bro. I hadn't drank a water in like 20 years, man. Things aren't good for you.
And listen, this is not even, it's not smart water. I just recycle the bottles. I buy these
Yeah.
big giant ones and we
Nobody will
got the,
tell the difference. Trust me.
trust me,
They fill them things up out of a tap
I
somewhere up
don't,
there anyway and bottle it.
I just want it. I want something that I can walk around and I've always got a bottle of water with me. Always got a bottle of water with me, no matter
That's
where I
probably
go.
smart. That's probably smart, man. I'm gonna have the Diet Coke. So you come go with me, bring you some water. But if you want a Diet Coke, I'll have some
There's
extras.
two things that I drink religiously. That's Cuban coffee in the morning and water.
I'm not a coffee guy.
I am
I've tried to be, man. I'm just not, dude. I go to I'm creature of habit. I go to the same gas station every single morning and get my one Diet Coke every single morning. See the same lady that works up there, talk to the same two old men sitting out there on the porch smoking a cigarette. I talk to them. That's just
I,
part of my everyday deal.
I'm good.
I got this one right here before we did this morning. I got in my truck. My wife was like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I run up the store." She's like, "For what?" I was like, "Gotta go get my Diet
I
Coke."
I'm gonna show you how well people know me and my Coke, or I mean my coffee. Last night at 7:30, a friend of mine from Paulsbo, Washington, he goes,
Yeah.
thinking about you, brother. We should touch base really soon. And he sends me a picture of the Cuban coffee. He took a pic. He's in the store looking at the Cuban coffee, and it made him think of me.
Dude,
So,
if that's your routine every day, you get in a routine, whatever it is, and like my routine, I stop the same place every morning. Don't talk to me before I've had my Diet Coke. You know what I mean? Once I have that, we're good to go, bro. But before
the
that,
the only place I don't drink my Cuban coffee is Japan. And I go to Japan 2 or 3 times a year because this is going to sound fucking weird. Japan has the best canned coffee you could ever
bro,
imagine.
I'm not going to Japan. I ain't left nothing in Japan. I ain't going. You know what I mean?
Listen,
That's
bro,
way too long of a flight, bro.
it
It's
ain't
way
that
too long of a flight.
bad. Come
I ain't
on.
going.
Listen, buckle up, Buttercup. Let's
Do they
go.
have blue marlins in Japan?
Oh my gosh, they just caught a grant. Well, it wasn't a blue marlin. It last was it December, November? They caught it a grander black marlin. I'll tell you a story, and I'm still looking for the
Oh,
pictures.
so they got blacks there.
They got well, they're on the Pacific, so they got blacks, stripes,
Okay.
blues.
Bro,
Okinawa.
I don't know, bro. Look, I'm from over here in Beulah, Florida, dude, Cantonment area in the 3-3. They don't tell us about stuff like this, you know?
Listen,
Like
Okinawa,
we just found out they supposedly went to the moon. You know what I mean? Like
come on, brother.
we're still celebrating that.
We never made it to the fucking moon.
That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day.
Uh, Okinawa, Japan's the only place that I have heard of 2,000 pound blue marlins caught. But
Wow.
they were caught by commercial guys. Yeah. One in 1985 and one I think it was either '05 or '06. And I'm digging hard to figure out to find the pictures of them.
Right,
I'm
right.
calling a lot
Well,
of people.
so have you got pictures? Like, or is it like one of
No,
those
no,
things
no.
to where you're like,
No, but the people that I've spoken with are very reliable.
right?
It's just I want to see pictures.
No, hey, I
Until I
get it,
see pictures, it's
bro.
just
I'm the same way. Like I want to see
hearsay.
pictures. I get it, man. You hear of a big fish being caught, something like that, and you get that back to the dock, and somebody's like, "Oh, dude, we caught one today that it's 800," and you see the picture, and you're like,
No, that's
I don't believe that's 800. Where's the other 200 pounds of him? Like that's a nice one, but you're right. If you don't see a fish, and
uh,
I got to give it to him. Like how many times have you seen a fish that's on the back deck of somebody's boat? Like now we have catch stat. Like so they're like catch stat. Like and first off, I'm just go ahead and be the first guy to say like I personally don't watch catch stat. I encourage no one on my boat to watch catch stat. Like I absolutely hate it. Watching catch stat in a tournament is
oh,
like being at a funeral of a loved one who just died in a violent car accident
And
And
watching the
watching the
fucking
catch
car
stat,
accident.
watch and listen, the catch stat is like they have a big screen TV on the wall that is repeatedly playing the fatal crash. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's catch stat, bro. And it just like so, but when they put it on catch stat, they're like, oh, so and so just killed a fish. And of course, first thing, you're up there in the bridge and you're like, oh, I just got to see it. So you get out your phone and you click over it, and surely one of my buddies is on the boat or something like, bro, we just torched one, 115-ish, good fish. She's going to be 500. And you see the picture and you look at it and you're like, that fish is 390 to 420, and then you get back and they weigh it and it's 601 and you feel like a real idiot. So
Listen,
there
I'd
are
rather be a
times.
real idiot under than a real idiot over.
Yeah, no, that's it. So there's definitely times when people show you, especially, the bigger the boat, in the picture. I mean, these dudes are releasing this fish on a 70 plus footer, and you look down there and you're like, fish is 600 pounds. But then you got to realize, like, hey man, if we were on a 40-foot boat, this fish would look giant. And so you never know, man. There's fish that we've caught in the past that we've taken pictures of or videos wiring the fish, and you're on the boat and you're like, that's a solid fish. That fish right there is all day in the 600s. But then you replay the video and you're like, yeah, that fish looks like it's 400 pounds. So unless it's like hanging, like a hanging picture, a lot of times, I mean, like bro Goodson sent me the picture of the first grander he killed this year, and it's laying in the cockpit of the boat. And I probably have it on my text. I
No,
could
I
show you.
listen, I know the one.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember when he
yeah. I
caught
think
it.
what is it, like 1,047 or
Yeah,
something?
it was just over the mark, but
Yeah,
it
he's
was I
he's the
want to
Mo dude. He's the Mogan man, bro. That dude catches and kills giant shit. I'm just telling you, I fished with that guy. I don't know what it is like, and give it that dude's a straight badass. Like, don't get it twisted. The dude is not just lucky. Like, he's good. I can't believe I'm actually saying this. Don't tell him I said this.
I'm gonna send it to him so he
Don't
can
tell him I
listen to
said
it.
any of this, okay? Because he's good. But dude, like, like in one of the pictures he sent me, he actually called me and I answered, and he's like, just stroker, bro. Like talk about it. He's like, I got one. And I'm like, all right. And he sends me a picture of it laying in the cockpit. And I'm like, that's what? And he's like, oh yeah, this is the one. And then they string it up. It's 1,047. Then like they're standing by this fish strung up, and you're like, oh my God, dude, that thing's giant. And so pictures sometimes, they don't do justice, especially like trail camera photos of deer or photos on the dock of people holding fish, like if you can get a picture of this said, double grander, I can only imagine what that thing's
I
going to look
that's why
like.
I want to and listen, I don't want to just see it on the deck somewhere. I want to see that thing hung up with a scale.
Right. Right.
I want
No, yeah.
some measurements, but the hardest part is I've got plenty of friends over there in Okinawa, but it's tracking people that speak enough of the language to get the pictures of it. So
Understood.
I'm
Understood.
trying to remember what year it was. I think it was 98 that the French Look went over there. So all those guys saw the one that was caught in 85. They saw
Yeah.
the pictures. And those are all guys, between Jody Whitworth and Tiny and Pork Chop, all guys that I
Right.
trust that, they're telling me the story. But again, I want to see the picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to see the
Yeah.
picture.
No, no.
I'm not gonna believe it until I see the fucking picture.
No, I get it, man. Like I'm right there with you. You hear tales of stuff like that, like there's one story that stands out in my mind of and I've heard a few folks talk about it that supposedly, and I don't know that again, this is a story, so I'm sure once it goes from one person to another, but supposedly back in the day, like somewhere in the Bahamas, somebody hooked a fish and they fought it for like some dude fought it for like 36 hours or something, and
32 hours. It was the
yep.
abracadabra.
Yep, yep. And you
And
you hear the stories of this, and like, every story that you hear is a little different because obviously they weren't there, but it all kind of boils down to the same thing. And one of the things that you hear talked about in the story was like, I guess it was the captain, or maybe it was one of the mates on the boat or something. Like, I guess they had come down to claim that they believed this fish to be close to that mark. And I don't, that's what you're told. And so you don't ever know. I mean, look at us. We, with the bluefin that we fought, for
yeah,
13 hours and 45 minutes, bro. I've got several of my boat. Captain Jason Hallmark on the Devotion, man. Like that dude gets them too. I don't know how many of them things that guy's
That's a
caught now,
fish
but
catching motherfucker.
oh yeah, oh
He
yeah.
is.
Oh yeah, and so, bro, Jason just opens the transom door and tells the fish to get in. They do. I don't even think they put
Get in the
rods
boat.
out. Yeah, I don't think they put rods. He's like Captain Ahab, but no, like he's caught a couple of them. And I'm like, bro, how long did you fight that thing? I don't know, like an hour. An hour? Like, what? It just swam into the back of the boat? Of course it did. You know,
You
like
gotta fucking put. Sometimes you gotta put some hurting on them. I
right.
that
So is this fish that they fought for 32 hours? You know, was it what? Obviously, it was a grander, but like, was
the
was she
call
just looked in the right place, or
the
you don't ever
call I
know?
heard she was 15. I know the wire guy.
Right,
So I was a young kid. Again, I was early 20s, and
right,
I was in Panama, and it was back then there was no sat phones. We all talked on single sideband. So it was
right.
a hey, so the abracadabra's got a nice fish on. Hey, the abracadabra has been fighting this fish for 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Then you go about your day, you know, because you're fishing,
Yeah.
and you wake up the next morning. Hey, did they ever catch that fish? No, 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 we're still fighting it. What?
Oh wow.
I went to bed. I went
Yeah.
to bed and you were fighting it and you're still fighting it? Yeah.
Yeah, you hear that story, you know, and you hear about, I guess maybe the mate works on like maybe it's the grander or something now. I guess one of the mates or something was kind of from around here, and that's how the story got brought up. And or maybe he's not from here, he had been here, so folks knew him, but they talk about that story, and I've heard it, you know, through traveling and stuff. I mean, dude, I've heard that story in the Bahamas, I've heard that story in Panama. I know I've heard it in Costa Rica, like you travel these places and just somehow in some situation you're drinking soul, or you know whatever you're wherever you're at, the story gets brought up and you hear about it, and every time it gets brought up, like it's a little bit different, you know, but it's obviously it was something life changing enough for them to have been there. I couldn't imagine looking at a fish that big, you know. It's got to be it's a tale to be told, you know.
Yeah. And they
It's
got
the
the
white
leader. They
whale.
got the leader more than a handful of
Yeah,
times.
yeah, that's what I was told. I think and this could be completely incorrect, but I think probably two of the times I was told this, that basically at the end of this, the guy's like, that's it, you know, two people grab the lead or whatever, and they wound up breaking it off, or maybe they told him like stand into it as hard as you can, whatever you break it, you break it. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how they broke it off or how it came undone.
Yeah,
Um, but I had the numbers I heard was 35 to 40 times on the leader.
that's
Um,
unbelievable.
dude, it's crazy. And you know, now that you say
Unbelievable.
it, I should reach out to EB and see if he
Yeah.
wants to jump on the podcast to tell the
Oh,
story.
dude.
He's
Dude, for sure, because I mean, man, look, like I'm just nobody up here on the Gulf Coast. So if I'm hearing it and I'm in all these different places and they're still talking about it, you know, like that's just kind of like a tale that you hear every
uh,
now and then. Some old dude in a bar somewhere, you know, brings it up, and you
uh,
just sit back and listen to it. And
it,
you know, it's like the old stories when you're a kid sitting around the campfire at the deer camp, you know, just and old men were telling you a story about some giant deer that got killed by a dude sitting on a stump smoking a cigar with a shotgun, you know, stuff like that.
it's like the
It's
movie
cool.
Perfect Storm where that old salty hair guy sitting at the bar, Flemish cap, a lot of fish, a lot of weather.
Bro,
You know,
that's
that's
circa 2050 Jason Hallmark. That'll be him, bro. That dude will be there, and then they'll be like, you know, when they were like, they didn't believe him, but really he had done it. That was Jason.
yeah.
So I have a theory about Jason Hallmark, that Jason Hallmark, like, you know, when you see those things, like, you know, you see the picture of him and it's like 1963 to 2025, you know. Well, Jason's picture is going to be like BC, you know, to infinity, because legends never die. And that dude, like, I think that dude's like the Excalibur guy. Like, I think he's really been here for like 2,000 years. He
He's the
doesn't do
lady in the
anything
lake.
right. Exactly. Dude, he's just been here forever, you know, like that dude, that's my boy right there. We're good friends, and I look up to him. I look up to a lot of these guys, but I look up Jason in a lot of ways. He's one of the best fishermen I've ever been around. But I will tell you this: we've had some like I fished with him. Well, actually, Goodson was with us. I think it was me, Josh Goodson. Jason Hallmark, Jake Glass that works with Scooter Porto now in the Nikki Bella. It was Ben Arnold. He fishes with a lot of guys, call him Big Game Ben up here. And then owner of the boat was Rusty Scala and I believe Stuart Fickle. They own the hot rod boat. We were fishing on the Black Sheep, which was a 61 Garlington. Jason was running the boat at the time. And we had left out, I believe it was OBBC, which is Orange Beach Billfish Classic, and we had run all the way down. We're in Green Canyon. I'm wanting to say, I think we were either I think we are at Marco Polo or the Mad Dog, but I swear we are at Marco Polo for some reason. And we pulled up there and throw the baits out like instantly, like we're on. Got fish on. I'm actually, my rod got an 8. And this is before that we sonar fish, so we're just soaking live baits. And I get 8. Josh is on the rod on the left. I'm on the rod on the right. Get the hook in this fish. Rusty, the owner of the boat, Rusty Scala, he gets in the chair. And we fight this fish, dude. Like every time she jumps, I'm like, I think she's got it, bro. Like, Josh and I are talking about it throughout the fight. And Josh is like, oh, she's got it, dude. And if you know Josh, bro, Josh got blood in his eyes, man. Like that dude's out to kill some shit. And Josh is like, oh, I promise you, I'm about to show you how big she is. Just get her up here. We'll put her in this deck. And so wound up catching this fish, and I get her on the wire 3 or 4 times. I'm actually wiring Josh's first gaff man behind me, and Jacob and Ben are backing him up, and this fish is up there, and like, bro, we got her on some light stuff. I think in those days we were fishing like 200 or 220, so it's kind of light, and like, I'm not trying to put too much heat on her, and I watch her on the wire, probably an hour and 45 minutes in, and this fish just like she rolls over and does like this death roll and kind of shows her stomach. And I'm like, oh, that's it. That's your ass right there. We got you
Sorry.
now. And bro, she makes one more kick and I wind up dumping the wire because the way her angle going away, like I don't want to just crack her off. And she runs down and like when she runs down, I just see her just run straight down, this big plume of blood behind her. And I'm like, oh, she's dead. Well, she runs down and Rusty winds up half like I know she's over half a spool straight down and she just dies. And we winch this fish up there and she comes up. She's tail wrapped by like, I guess when she turns, something happens. She got tail wrapped. She goes down and dies. We winch this fish up. It takes us probably close to 2 hours to get her back up there. We get her back up there and she's just graveyarded, bro. Like I'm talking brown as a board, stiff as a bat. I'm like, hey, don't hit her with the flyer. Just grab that king mackerel gaff, reach out there and grab her in the face. Like we'll pull her to the door. So we pull this fish through the door and she's just rigged up hard, dude. Like I'm talking rigor mortis is set in. Like, she's not perfectly flat. She's kind of, we actually pull her through the door by the bill because she's dead at this point. And, we pull her in, we throw the tape to her and we throw the tape. In those days, it had to be 107 in OBBC. And I think it is still, I think Doral and the boys still got it at 107, which I'm a thanks, appreciate it, like those numbers. And I'm ready to go back to the days of 99. But anyway, we pull this fish in the door and Goodson grabs the tape, like, dude, she's got the girth all day long, like she's got everything. Goodson pulls the tape. And I just see it's just like kind of like the wind kind of comes out of you. And I'm like, what is it,
Sure.
bro? I'm like, what is it, bro? And he's like, 105 3/4. I'm like, there ain't no way. And so we get into this thing where we're like pulling the tape. Remember, this fish is rigged up, so her head's off the deck, her tail's kind of off the deck. And this is a true story, like you asking about the boat. Goodson goes over there and gets the Dexter Russell. Goodson's like, I'm getting the bill and the tail for sure, if nothing. And I'm like, no, bro, I'm telling you, just wait. Like, so we get in this huge argument, and I'm like, we're gonna roll this fish over. We're rolling this fish over. We're measuring on the other side. And the reason I say this, I used to guide alligator hunts. And one of the ways that we would get paid guiding alligator hunts, you paid for your nightly hunt, but you also, like, we'd measure alligator and anything over 10 foot, you're paying by the inch. And so a lot of times, like, we would take them alligators and you flip them over 2 or 3 times, you get the measurement you needed to get out of it, by 3 or 4 inches. And so me and Goodson get this huge argument, and I'll never forget this. Goodson's like, have you ever measured a basketball, Pee Wee? It's the same the other side. I'm like, no, bro, just trust me. So finally, Hallmark like breaks it up. Hallmark's like, look, I don't care what y'all do, but I'm going back up here to this rig to catch a fish. So y'all better figure out what we're gonna do. And again, this fish is like graveyard dead, brown. Like, we're not gonna try and release this fish, anything like that. Like at this point, like it's a dead fish. It's not coming back to life. So we roll this thing over and we pull the tape. And I'm on the smart end. Goodson's on the right end. And I'm like, Goodson, you got it on her? Like, you're for sure there. He's like, bro, I'm on it. Just measure it so we can get back to fishing. And I'm like, are you sure? He's like, I'm positive. I was like, because she's 107 and 3/4. By the time that fish laid out when we hit the dock, she was 109, I think at an eighth, or 109 1/4 when the rig laid out of her. Like the rigor mortis, that's the way rigor mortis sets up. It sets up in the first so many hours. And then the fish lays down and she starts to break down and deteriorate, as time goes on. And we laid this fish out on the back deck. I'll never forget it. Everybody went from being so mad they were ready to fist fight to it's a party, like
Yeah.
everybody's excited. And we laid that fish out. Goodson was there. We wound up taking third place with that fish, and I'm wanting to say that we won. I want to say it was like 80 grand, something like that. And we're about to And again, I don't want anybody to think like, hey, we're just pulling fish through the door, checking fish. Like, bro, this thing was dead. There's no reviving it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm talking stiff. So, and lo and behold, we knew that she would make it. We felt like in our heart, so we pulled her in, and at that point, but she made it 107 3/4 and got the dock. She's right at 109 and an eighth. So for
I
anybody
mean,
out there that catches one, brings one through the door, they're already dead for whatever reason. If they're already dead, not alive, meaning that two of your mates busted flyers off in her, if she comes up dead or whatever, and she's within that, make sure you do the due diligence of checking her,
yeah.
and just making sure, like, hey,
Yeah.
she'll make it or she won't, because that's another topic that I feel like, and maybe I'm getting too ahead of what we're talking
No,
about,
no,
but
no. Listen, I was just going to bring up
like,
Mr. Johnny because you're talking about his
no,
tournament and you were with
no.
him the other day.
Well, here's the thing, man. Like with these fish, I'm a huge fan of either 110 or 500 pounds, but I'm also a huge fan of if a fish is caught and it comes up dead, and I get it, you're in a release tournament, like I would love to see them come up with some type of process to where you're like, hey, we got a fish, it died, it makes legal requirement of the state, so no, we're not breaking a law here, but we would, instead of just cutting this fish and watching it float off, like make some kind of, as long as it's video confirmed, however you want to do it. And I don't know the stipulations that have to be exactly, but like allow them to bring that fish to donate it, so that it's going to go to a good cause. I think the worst thing, that you can do is to discard a fish that obviously is completely dead. Like there's no bringing it back.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about one that comes up there, it's barely breathing and it's brown and you revive her and get her to swim off. I'm talking about one that's like, this thing's graveyarded, bro. I just hate cutting line and watching them fish, drift off because of the fact that we're in a tournament. When we weren't in a tournament, we would have done the right thing and bring it back.
One of I- and it's happened several times during the World Cup. Uncle Kenny, and I don't know if you've been to Hawaii or not. The Lannis family is massive.
I've
There's
never been to Hawaii.
okay. Well, the Lannis family is massive. You have Kenny Boy, you got Bomb Boy, Randy, rest his soul, and Uncle Kenny. Every once in a while, he'll call up during the World Cup. Fly, we got one on. Okay. Then he'll call me back like 20 minutes later. He goes, non-qualifier. I go, you release it? He goes, non-qualifier. Because Uncle Kenny will kill them all because he eats them all.
Yeah, hey
I
man,
get
if
it.
you're eating it, bro, like if it's going to a good cause and you're eating it, I don't care. I'll never be the dude, and this goes back to deer hunting too. I hunt public land. I let a lot of bucks walk. I mean, a lot. I've got a lot of videos of 3.5-year-old pretty deer that somebody's going to shoot, and there's nothing to say that that deer's not going to walk over the next hill and get blasted over there. And I don't care if you're feeding your family, if you're shooting spikes, if you're shooting does, whatever it
If
is,
you're gonna
if
eat it,
that's right, if you're going to eat it, more power to you. I hope you drag him out, bro. As long as you're not killing another buck just to say I killed another buck, sawing the
yeah.
horns off and giving the meat away, like to me, I'm all for somebody feeding their family. If you want to kill fish, then brother, kill fish. Like that's it. If they're going to a good cause. That's to me like I would love to see again like the 110 to 500. You go up. So like for me, I'm from here. So going up and fishing like the White Barn Open up on the East Coast, like we got a Sunset Bar and Grill, which by the way is probably the coolest place in the world with their fishery that I think. But you go up there and you see these fish, and I'm like walking by the cleaning table. Like, they got a giant cleaning table. It's like a fisherman's dream at that place, dude. You go up there,
There's
like,
all
bro,
kinds of
bro,
fish,
they,
man.
they got it figured out. The bar is like 100 feet behind the boat. Then 100 feet this way is like this giant cleaning facility for any fish you have. They got a gantry to pick their fish up, freaking beautiful custom boats. I mean, I could go on, but you go there and like we're walking by the cleaning table and I'm like, see a blue marlin laying over there. And I'm like, that thing surely didn't make it. They're like, nah, man, it died. They brought it back and they're going to donate it. And I just thought that was like the coolest thing, man. I was like, that's pretty cool, dude. No, not one person walked down that dock and was that I know of that I saw and was like, oh, why would you bring that back? Like, no, man, it went to a good cause. They got
Yeah.
dudes up there cleaning your fish for you. Like, in my
I,
opinion, and again, this is opinion, I think that's a much better deal. Like, and several of the fish I saw get weighed up there over the years didn't make the 500 to the 110, but they still went to a good cause. I'm not telling people to, smoke them if you got them out there, meaning just crush the fish when you catch it. But, in this game that we're playing, and we're playing a blood sport out here, and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line. Not everybody's going to make the right call, bro.
listen, it's number one, it's a gladiator sport.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is a gladiator sport. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you're sitting on a enclosed bridge Viking, and I'm not picking on you,
No,
I'm just stating.
go ahead.
I I know I spent a couple seasons down in the Dominican Republic, and while we're out there fishing, those guys are on the pongas and they're fishing the fads and they're drying off blue marlins. And I want to. I'm on the board of the Billfish Foundation. I want to conserve them as best as possible.
Right.
And this is my only but, it's very hard for me to sit on the back of a multi-million-dollar boat with my AC, eating good food, and complaining about a man that's providing protein for his family. I'm
There you
not going
go.
to do that.
Now, there
I
you go. That's it. We got to remember at the end of the day that, man, like, first off, we are blessed to be here doing what we're doing. And don't think that I don't remember the days of charter fishing, of having my hands hurt so bad that I couldn't close them, back on the back deck, whatever it was. I'm still a guy that's got to feed my family. I'm not rich. I'm gonna feed them by whatever means that I have to. And for a man to go out there that's feeding his family with a fish, I'll never down that. Never.
yeah,
I don't care. I could care less. I mean, like, really and truly, for me to go and obviously the guys with the money are the guys that make the rules. So I'm not making a lot of rules, bro.
yeah.
But you got guys out there that are making these rules in a lot of these tournaments that, in my opinion, and look, man, there's some our tournaments. We've got some great tournaments back home. I mean, we really do. They're run professional organization.
You guys,
But
listen, your week to week tournament run is
oh yeah,
amazing. You guys have
it's
some really cool
We,
competitions.
we do, but I would love for some of these guys to get together and sit down and maybe just have to see what, coming from the captains, like guys with boots on the ground out there, or on the deck, if you want to say, like, I feel like the 110 or 500 pounds, because you get that, and this comes, you've probably wired a lot of blue marlins. I'm sure you have. You've been around a lot of blue marlins wired, but like, what's the most dangerous fish on the wire that you could have, in my opinion, is that, and I just talked about this at the camp this weekend with some boys, but like that 250 to 500 pound range, like the 250 and under, those fish don't bother me. The 550 and above, those fish don't bother me because they move slow. Like, one kick of their tail is like, they're 30 feet out there, but that 250 to 550, you're getting up on there fast on them, you're just firewalling the boat reverse, trying to get the release, mates reaching out there, grabbing the leader, doing all this stuff. Like, that's the one that's dangerous. And a lot of guys in the Gulf had, that are fishing this 180 to 220, like, you don't have a lot of time,
Yeah.
and you're in a kill tournament, and everybody's, rushed, like, she got it, and you're trying to, these guys are out there, and you're like, captain's up there like, hey, that fish has got 500 all day. Will she make the 110? Will she make the 110? I don't know if she'll make the 110. And so now you're like, all right, it's on 220 and the wire guy, instead of wrapping up, you're hand over hand and everybody's trying to make a call. And in that situation at this point, and I'm 41 years old, like in that situation, I'm like, hey guys, if she don't make it, let her go. We're going to take tag and release. And for that reason, like I've really started fishing tag and release a whole lot harder now. Like if she doesn't come up there and I'm not like, all right, that's the one, then we're going to crack her off, because essentially now with live baiting and sonars, we're coming back in and seeing anywhere from on a typical weekend, it's like 5 to 10 fish are getting weighed in most of these tournaments, as to where in the beginning days without the sonar and without live baiting, we're weighing, there's tournaments won like you're the only fish killed. And
Listen,
so
that
now,
that
like,
live baiting has changed a lot.
oh, that's a whole, which we can get into that too. But it's you get up there and so now you've got this fish that's like supercharged, and she's pissed off, and you're trying to get up there, you're trying to get her boat side, and you got her on this light leader, and you're trying to get that 110, and I don't care what anybody says, unless somebody's got some laser measure or some crazy something that I haven't seen. Like, bro, try and measure what you believe to be a 110-inch fish on some 220 that you've had on for 1 hour. It's pissed off. You got one dude. Typically, the way that this goes down is you got one dude that's got the tag stick that you never use anyway, that's got this 110-inch tape on it. And sometimes it's a piece of mono with like a chugger head tied to it. And so the captain's now got to put the boat in gear. You got to be in gear at like 6 or 7 knots to lay the fish out. If not, it's going to sink down. You're trying to get this. The dude with the gaffs back there, wireman's pissed off, captain's pissed off, the owner in the chair is behind you. He's like, does it make it? Does it make it? Like he's back there. He's like all over top of the rod and just going crazy. And then on top of that, you got the first mate who's got the leader on 220. He's yelling at the guy driving, like, slow down, I'm gonna break her off. And she's kicking her head, and this dude's trying to get the thing down. The dude with the gaff's like, oh, just tell me, and the second gaff man's back there in the corner. He like can't get to the corner. Shit's going crazy. Okay. And this
Your
entire
description,
time,
by the way, is
there,
spot on, dude.
this entire time, everybody there, and then you got Susie from his buddy's wife's tennis team, and Debbie, they're in the back there, and they're taking pictures, and they're like, "Can we get it up here closer?" And the shit's just going wild. And the best thing that can happen in this situation for anybody is the fish to just completely lay dormant and be like, look, I'm gonna lay on my side flat. You guys get in the water, let's pull a tape. I'll let you measure me. If I make it, good. If not, just let me go. We all know that's not going to happen. So unfortunately, what happens? Here's what happens. The dude that's got the tape is like, I don't know, I don't know. And then the captain up there is like, it's your call, boss. That dude's 5 feet away in the fighting chair, bro. He can't see shit. All he can see is the backside of some mates,
He's
and he sees a
trusting you.
paycheck. He sees a paycheck, and he's like, roll call, boys. And what happens? Bam, bam. They bring it up in the boat, and the fish is 500 pounds all day. Unfortunately, it's 109.
Yeah.
And they're not going to do a crooked thing like, hey, we're going to try and stretch this fish and have the fish fall apart at the dock. Anyway, we're not going to get into that, but they're not going to do something like that. So now it's like, well, what do we do with this fish? And what do you think's going to happen?
Roll them over.
Yeah, what do you think's going to happen? And so now we've killed a fish for no reason. That's going to go for nothing. And it's situations like this where I'm like, look, it's not going to happen on my watch, because I've been there enough time now to say, hey, no, we're cutting the line. Like, if she's that close, ain't going to happen, bro. We're letting her go. Or we're going to come in with a fish that doesn't measure one way or the other. But this fish is coming back. We're going to kill it. And I really and truly believe in my heart that if we went to the 110 or 500, that you would have a lot of guys out here that were able to say, hey, this fish is 500 pounds. We're going to stroll it right here. It gets back, it's 499 and it's 109. Then you just tell them, hey, man, like, it was a close call. Unfortunately, didn't make it. Fish is going to die anyway. If you wouldn't have cut the line, and obviously they weren't going to cut the line, they can sit here and tell you they were, but they're not going to. And they bring it back, like, we don't burn their boat down. We don't chastise them to the dock or scream and yell. Fish goes to a good cause. And
Now, here's a question for you, because I've
right.
been on both ends. I've been a tournament director. I've been a
Okay.
mate. I've been a captain. How about if that tournament went with If he's under 500,
Hmm.
it's negative 250 points plus 2 points per pound that he's under.
Sounds good, bro. Let it
Okay.
eat. Let it eat. I'm good with that. I'm good with them bringing it back and then being like, hey, as far as Blue Marlin release, as far as like uh tag and release or killing this tournament, like you can still win with a tuna, dolphin, or wahoo, whatever you want to do there. But as far as kill division or whatever, if it's day one, like you can't compete again. I'm fine with that too. Like give them some reason of why they won't want to do it, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But
No, no. And
like
that's why I
because
brought it
there's
up to
there's
you
got
like
to
that.
be there, right? Like if I tell my kids, man, I'm a dad. If I tell my kids, like, look, you're in trouble for this, you're going to your room for 2 hours. If little homie's got a TV or an Xbox in there, he's like, peace out, dad. See
Peace
you in a
out,
little bit.
Dad.
Yeah, bro. Like, you got to give them some reason why they wouldn't want to do it.
Listen,
And
if I
that's with any law or any rule. I'm trying to get to a point here and trying to explain to some of these tournament directors that, look, man, like I'm a dude that's like, I'm a boat captain. So I hear things down the dock and you hear of stuff like this throughout the years, and you're just like, man, if we could just get to the 110 or 500, and here's another thing with
or
catch stats.
make sure we emphasize you're focusing on the word or.
Right, right.
110 or 500, not
110 or
and.
500, not and or,
Okay.
110 or 500. If you get those two right there, if they could make one of those two, I believe that it would really help out. Like it's really going to work. We're going to see some fish killed. I do not personally believe that by upping the minimum to 115 inches that you're going to save fish. You're going to get way more fish killed because you know as well as I do, a fish that is say 110 to 115, trying to control that fish on the wire, trying to get a a,
It's
a
hard,
good
man.
measurement. Yeah, people are going to wind up making a mistake. So in my opinion, the 110 to 500, 110 or 500 is a great rule. I like that. The guys got on the East Coast. Like I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah,
I
a lot of listen. There's a tournament on the East Coast, and I'm not. Listen, if you do this long enough, you know which tournament it is. They have an and instead of
uh
the or, so it's
right,
got to reach both,
right.
and that's tough.
That's tough. I don't think you're going to save any more fish there, man. I'm just going to not in the Gulf. Maybe up there you do. That's fine. Like, hey, I'm good with that. I'm not speaking for the
Well,
East Coast. They got a great fishery. That's their
remember the
backyard.
East Coast also that they've got a couple of white marlin tournaments.
Yeah,
So those white marlin tournaments where they're asking for 65 inches and 60 pounds.
right, right. No,
So
I,
it's
I I get it. I mean, I'm not gonna get into that. I get it, and
yeah,
that's the East
it
Coast,
gets
bro. That's
crazy.
their backyard. I got mad respect for them guys up there. Like I went up there and fished with them, and I was like, bro, the first day I ever got there, this has been like 2010 or 2012, somewhere in I want to say it's 2012, maybe. I went up there to fish on the East Coast, and we get there, it's White Marlin Open, and like I walk out of the hotel room that morning, and dude, I like had to go back inside, put jeans and a hoodie on. I get down to the boat, and so it's like, bro, it's cold.
Cold.
Yeah, like cold, and these dudes are rigging like an 80 mullet natural dredge or whatever, and I'm like,
You're rigging 300 mullets
yeah,
every day,
yeah,
man.
yeah, dude. And I'm like, I don't know what y'all are rigging that up for, but we are surely not going blue marlin fishing daylight. We might go striper fishing, but it's freaking cold, bro. Epic 3 days of fishing, like just
Fishing up
crushed
there
them.
is
It was fun,
phenomenal.
dude. Unbelievable, and they're telling me about their numbers. And so from that day forward, I fell in love with it. Up there, the guys that fish, man, you want to talk about some savages, some good fishermen. Every boat that I have been on and fished up there with them has just been like, bro, these dudes grew up doing this.
Fucking
We
murderers
didn't
up there,
grow up,
man.
bro. We didn't grow up like the Gulf around here, like we got some badass fishermen up here. We did not grow up, most of us. I'll say this, anybody that I know, like guys that I'm around, none of us grew up natural fishing. Like that's not what we did. We grew up charter fishing. We grew up snapper fishing, trigger fishing, grouper fishing, amberjack fishing, yellowfins if you're lucky, and that's what we did. And that's why I like in my opinion, the whole blue marlin live baiting thing, like, you know, that's the bait, amberjack fit. And I say this all the time, like what we're doing, blue marlin fishing, and I'm about to really piss some people off, and I'm okay with this. Like, this is not blue marlin fishing. This is glorified amberjack fishing. That is what we're doing. Because this at the same time, and bro, dudes could get mad. That's fine. Like, you know, let's figure out what we're doing here. Okay, we're taking a sonar, which is it's not the same, but it's kind of like a down scan. And we're going around just like we go around and find the jacks. When I was a kid, growing up on charter boats, standing back there, you got live hardtails, and two of them got egg weights, and I got two 6/0s with straight 150 pound on them with circle hooks, and like, but your captain would be like, there they are, fire it down 60 foot, 60 foot down, you're hooking rods and handing it off, circle hook. Captain's putting the boat in gear to get them off there. School jacks comes up, you're throwing the ones without weights back there, you're smashing them too. And like, it is the same thing. Okay. The only difference is this thing that we're catching now has got a bill in its face and it's worth $500,000 sometimes. Like
Don't
it's
be
the
bad
same
mouthing
thing.
my blue marlin, man.
Bro, I'm not bad
I know
mouthing
you're
them
not.
whatsoever. I'm just telling you, like, and I've said this for years, and I'm pretty sure that, and I don't know him personally, I met him on the dock, but like, guys like Justin Drummond, they came over here and freaking schooled some folks fishing. Like, that dude's natural fishing with a
He's a good
sonar.
fisherman, man.
Yeah, he's a bad. I don't know that dude, but his numbers don't lie. Like dead fish don't lie, numbers don't lie. That dude gets them, and he came over here and he went legitimate blue marlin fishing. And I'm not going to say any names, but there's a few of these guys who've started to do really good natural fishing with a sonar here, and they're starting to put. And I'm not going to get too much into this, but like, they're starting to put two and two together. And I've said this for years. I'm like, all right, boys, like, this live baiting stuff's good, and we're catching a lot of fish doing it. But I'm telling you right now, one of these dudes is going to show up over here that's got just enough East Coast in him and just enough Gulf in him. He's fixing to stomp off in our ass. So y'all better be ready. And I mean, man, look around. Like, you go up there with them boys, like, that's some straight
They
bill
know
fishing
how to
going
catch some
on.
fish up there.
Right. And I'm not saying that people in the Gulf aren't bill fishing, because man, they are. Okay. Like, we got lure fishing, like when I grew up here lure fishing, we didn't natural fish. They're like, hey, we're going whitey fishing. All right, we'll swap the big lures out for little lures. Like, we weren't natural fishing. We weren't pitching ballyhoos. We weren't fishing swimming ballyhoos. And yeah, we had a skipping Spanish back there, but it had a 77 32 12 in its face. Like, come up there, just freeze spool it a little bit longer and then slam it in gear. Like, they're not this blood sport that we're fishing in up here. And I'm not going to stop, because God knows I love it. Like, I absolutely love blue marlin, sonar, live bait fishing. I'm going to say it, and it's going to really make some people mad. And I guess fishing's fishing, but that ain't traditional blue marlin fishing, bro.
Take a number.
And yeah, the
If
dudes
you're
up there,
mad,
like,
take a number.
yeah, and man, like, I'm not, I'm not down in it, and this is how I make my living, and I feed my family this way. And so, as long as they allow me to do it, then I'm going to keep my numbers up, and I'm going to keep going out there
Listen,
fishing.
it's all different, man. That's the whole thing. It's just depending on
Right,
where you go. And I listen, when I lived in Venezuela back in the 90s, the best guys were all from North Carolina and Ocean City.
right,
Because those guys were some bait rigging motherfuckers.
dude, they
They
get
were some
down.
bait rigging
Bro,
motherfuckers.
them dudes can get down with it. Like, I fished beside him in Isla down there. I fished beside Dave when he was running the Grand Slam. That dude was coming back, and like, bro, I was with Hallmark, and we had had a good day. Like, I remember this day, and I'll never forget it, because actually my grandfather passed away this morning, and I got the call that day, and which he had been ill, so it wasn't like a huge surprise. But I'll never forget this day. And that day in particular, we had gone like 17 for 24.
Wow.
And it was me and Hallmark down there, which is for some old country boys from up here in the Panhandle, dude. Like, we were pumped. Bro, that dude Dave backs in beside us on the Grand Slam boat, and that was a single screw boat, whatever. We had seen them out there. And that dude, I went over there and asked him, and I want to say they had like, bro, it was something stupid. I think they called like over 30 or something. Just strolled them, bro. And I'm like, do what? And this man, like, you fish beside them, and there you go, East Coast boys, like, that's what they grew up doing. So I would never go to their backyard and be like, I'm fixing to show you. Like, nah, them dudes will show me. And being able to fish with them and being on the back deck of the boat, some of them guys, and it's a different world up there, man. Like it's a whole different world. Like you throw some of that stuff out here and you'll catch every blackfin and chicken dolphin and like every 30-pound yellowfin that you can't keep that stuff off the bait. So there is definitely a lot of places that you can use it, but I guess in what I'm trying to say here is, man, is that the style of fishing that we're doing and the way that we are blue marlin fishing at this point, in my opinion, is glorified amberjack fishing.
Well,
And I'm not going to stop until they make me.
I can't say that because catching a blue marlin is still catching a blue marlin, and
I get it. I'm not going to stop until
I'm not knocking you, and
right.
I'm
It's
not
just not
disagreeing.
traditional, bro. It's not traditional, and I'm
It,
fine with that. I'm not a traditional dude. Like that's all good and great, and some people might get mad that I make that statement, but
listen, it's not traditional, but here's the thing: as a fisherman, and I'm not mentioning any names. I told somebody one time, my job is to catch as many fucking fish as possible.
hey, there you
And
go.
I will do whatever it takes to catch as many fish as possible. And if that
I,
means going live baiting, I go live baiting. If that means going dead baiting, I go dead baiting. If
they
it means
sell
I'm teasing,
dynamite still too, right?
if they let me do that, I'd probably do it. I
No,
would,
man.
I would
No,
probably do it.
right. I guess in all this, what I'm trying to say is I have a huge respect for them guys up there.
Yeah.
Been up there fishing with them. Like it's unbelievable to watch them. I mean, it's pretty much it. I mean, them guys in that cockpit, man, it's so well orchestrated from the guys that I fish with. Like they're fast too, bro. God, them guys are fast. Like try and get to one, bro. And I'm pretty quick on my feet, I grew up fishing, charter fishing my whole life and private bait fishing and Kobe fishing, whatever. Like I'm pretty quick, man. Grew up on the beach pier. Bro, these dudes are fast. Like you would just try and get to the rod fast enough. Them dudes,
No,
like they got it.
they, and this is one thing that, at least for me, like when I was down in Venezuela or Mexico, it was always at least two mates. Man, some of those charter guys from Ocean City, they're doing it. It's just them.
Yeah, man.
And listen, they got some great anglers where they're like, hey, yeah, I need you to do this, this, and this, and then all day long, it's a fucking program. It
Right,
is a
right.
program, and I watch it. I'm like, man, I was fast. I was fast, with two guys in the pit, but man, these guys were fast with just them. I was
Right.
I was just completely amazed.
No,
Uh, yeah,
that's a whole that's what they're literally like that's their training their whole life. Like them guys, like I would be willing to go head to head with them as far as in the cockpit, like on a super hot snapper bite. Like we can get on the back deck on these charter boats, and I bet you if I got a D hooker in my hand, I'm fixing to run house on D hooking fish and catching them. But like I would never stand against them dudes and be like, hey, I'll outfish you natural fishing in this cockpit. Like, nah, they'll run circles around me, bro. They're
they
good. They're
they're
good. And so that's I'll never say any different from the
I
guys I've fished around and been around and rigging baits, like the typical bait rigging for us, when I came up was like, all right, look, we're gonna get 2 dozen ballyhoos, we're gonna get like 3 Spanish. And those things would rot in the cooler until you got back. When you got back, you'd throw them away. The only difference was if the yellowfins were there, we might be like, all right, we're gonna twinkle fly fish with some of these ballyhoos, and that's like super light, like 80-pound leader and just a regular like snapper circle hook. And you put them out way out the back and just slow troll one in gear and you catch them. Like I still do it sometimes for fun fishing, like just to catch them, just because I can't get all the charter boat out of me, but
it
it,
happens,
it
man.
yeah, yeah.
It,
You'd be
it,
surprised too. You catch some blues doing it too sometimes, but it's some
you're a charter boat captain sitting on a beautiful boat.
that's it, man. I'll just go ahead and say this too, just to get this over with, bro. Like when I was a kid, I was the kid that sat in school. My mom actually sent me one of these drawings. She still got, like my mom's mom that saves everything. She sent me like this picture that I had drawn like on this assignment I was supposed to do in class. And it was a sport fish boat and, blue marlin jump behind it. But like from the time that I was a kid, this is all I wanted to do. Like this is it. I would do whatever it takes. I just want to be out there. And, my dream was to be a charter boat captain as a kid. Like that's it. It's all I wanted. And like I don't do this because I want to be on a pretty boat. I don't do this because I want to be seen in the light of like, oh, he's got this better, he's got that better. Bro, I don't give a damn. Like if my boss would let me, I would spray our boat with Rhino liner tomorrow. Okay. There, I would go inside the salon, I would rip out all of that nice stuff. I would put down hydroturf in the floor, and I would put a big giant deep freezer that I ratchet strap to the floor in there, like maybe a cooler for some food and stuff. Like, bro, we can eat bologna sandwiches and we can kill a lot of stuff in 3 days if we don't worry about having to keep this thing clean, you know? So I've never been the dude that's like, when it comes to private boat jobs and stuff like that, I would rather you just like beat me like a drum than be like, hey, we're going to fish 5 times this year. You can make a whole bunch of money. I want my boat tip top shape and clean. And I do keep a clean boat. Like I like my stuff looking good because you work in this business and in this industry. There's an old saying that goes around is hey man, a captain told me when I was a kid, work every job for your next, meaning that like make sure your boat looks good because if
Yeah.
something happens to your boss, if he falls out of the sky on a private jet, truck runs him over, you want to make sure that you were tip top shape and all your stuff was right. And so that, you have the ability to be able to move on because things happen, man. And
You're
so,
100% correct on that
but
one.
I have never cared about look like I could care less about, being the coolest boat down the as far as like, when people pull up and they're like, oh, that's a such and such boat and this and that. And I'm like, what's that dude caught? That's all I care about. Like is he out there smashing them or because in this industry, and this as well as I do, like, man, there's some great jobs out there as far as paychecks go. Like job's probably not going to end. You'll have it for 10, 15 years, but you're choking pilings every day. Yeah, you got a badass boat, but you're going out there and you're fishing like 3 to 5 times a year because your boss doesn't love to fish. He likes the idea of it. And to him, it's more of like this was something to do. And that's good, man. There are captains needed for stuff like that. And I understand when a captain gets to a certain age where he's just like, look, man, been out there, done it all. Like, I just don't want to do it anymore. But I don't think that'll ever be me. Like, I just don't like I just like to go catch stuff and
There'll be a
forever.
bologna sandwich for you somewhere.
Bro, that's it. Like I could care less. Like, dude, if I could call up John Bayless and be like, look, I want you to build me one of these things. I want you to spray it with rhino liner, top to bottom. Don't put anything in the interior. I'll take care of that because I'm going to build 2x4 and 2x6 bunk beds downstairs. I'm going to leave one of these rooms completely empty so we can just pile all our fishing stuff in there so that I have an arsenal of killing stuff no matter where I go. And don't worry about putting a seakeeper or any of this other fancy stuff. I only need like 30 gallons of water on here because we got plenty of bottled water we brought. I don't need an ice machine. I just need more fuel. Like, where can we put more fuel?
You're
Like,
gonna
bro,
listen,
where
if
the
you're gonna kill that
microwave,
much shit,
dude,
you're
bro,
gonna
where
need
the
ice.
microwave went, we could put like 12 gallons of fuel right there. Like, we'll just put fuel everywhere. I mean, we don't need a shower. We got a saltwater wash down. We're good, bro. Like, I just want to go kill some stuff and catch some stuff. And that's it for like, that's the name of the game for me. But I obviously I have to follow within the guidelines of private boating, and I
No,
do
listen.
like I have to have some yachtsmanship about me. But at the end of the day, bro, I just like to go out there and catch and kill stuff.
Well,
That's
well,
why I do it. I'm not here for any other reason. Like I'm not the guy, like I'm not a boat snob. I'm not gonna walk down the dock and be like, well, that's a such and such. It was built by this builder when he was there. I could give a damn. Like I just don't care. Did it get us out there and we got to kill some stuff on it?
I'm not
Awesome,
worried
bro.
about it getting me out there. I'm worried about it getting me out there and getting me back.
There you go, man. Like that's it. That's what I'm saying. If you got more fuel,
I
it's
don't,
even
I
better.
don't like one-way tickets.
No,
I
I
like
don't
I like round
like
trip.
reinforce the bow on this thing so I can put more bladders up there. Like like we're marathon fishing, bro. Like
You
this is
guys
not,
are. That's the
yeah, I
biggest
mean,
difference between the East Coast and the West Coast
right.
or the
Which
Gulf Coast. The East
which is
Coast,
all which is awesome for them guys up there. Like them dudes get to come back and sleep on dry ground at night. That is gangsters. Like,
I've never seen anybody as happy at any of my tournaments in the Bahamas than guys from the Gulf of Mexico.
oh,
I've had
dude.
more owners come up to me say, Fly, I love your tournaments.
Yeah, we
We've
just got to
having
get
so
some
much
oil rigs
fun.
put there. We just got to get some oil rigs there, bro. If we could get some rigs there, the Gulf's coming. I'm trust like, bro, we don't like if it ain't iron, we don't like fishing around it. You know what I mean? Like you take me out there in that open water, and I'm like, dude, there's got to be a rig here somewhere. You know,
It's underground. It's underwater. Just
maybe,
look on your charts. Well,
maybe, man, maybe
well,
those are
we-
made out of coral. Iron makes fish, bro. Iron makes fish.
well. On that note,
So,
we're gonna wrap up here. Brennan, thank you so much for your time today, for your stories, and what's the best way for people to follow you if they want to follow what you're doing?
bro, I just got a little bit of Instagram there. It's original Gamester 01.
There,
It's
there,
Gamester like fishing boat, you know, like fishing, hunting. That's where that comes from. So
there you
I had
go.
to
And I know your boat has an Instagram page because I shared some of the pictures the other day.
cool,
So
man. Yeah, fat chick sport fishing, really, that's the number one. It's pretty easy. It's fat chick, just FATCHICK. So
so
it's
follow
pretty,
what you guys are doing during the tournament trail.
yeah, man. Come check us out.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much, and we will check you guys later.